Brought to you by Right to Offend Media, it's the Whitfield Report Live with your host, author Sam Whitfield, joined as always by his trusty co-hosts Max, San, and Morpheus, with music by the Right to Offend House Band. And now, without further ado, here's Sammy.
Whitfield Report, everyone. I just don't know how I can do the show tonight. It's been really hard this week. It's been a really tough one, folks. R.I.P. Craig's Twitter account.
Again?
Yep.
Damn.
I didn't.
I used to think that there was no persecution of the Jews.
They're after the Jew.
But then I see Craig get banned over and over and over again. There's gotta be something to it. Maybe they're persecuting doctors.
I'm not sure how I could cope, Max.
I know how much his Twitter meant to you, Sam.
I'm gonna miss all his tweets about Gamergate 2.
Maybe he'll go to Blue Sky.
I can still hear his chuckling as he's tweeting out shit posts. It's so unfair.
One day we'll be able to move forward, Sam. Maybe today's not it.
Yeah, but no, in all seriousness, yeah, Elon, what are you doing? I mean, come on.
It seems like he's walking around with his robot fuck buddy. Is that what is he got a sex bot? Is that what I'm seeing?
I mean, Craig. I mean, that's the other thing. Is like Craig could probably build him one.
He could build one.
Well, actually, no. I take that back. Steve could probably do better with that.
Well, yeah, but I don't think either one of them wants to make Elon a sex bot. I don't think I wouldn't want to work on an Elon sex bot. That's a little weird.
Neither would I.
And here's the part that is weirdest to me. Why does he bring his sex bot everywhere in public now? This is weird. Keep it in your closet. Look, nobody wants to see your fleshlight. Nobody wants to see your sex bot. Just how it is, Elon. You gotta learn about privacy, Elon. I know he has autism, so he might not understand.
Yeah, no, we don't want to see the LGBT sex. We don't want to see the robot sex.
Also interesting, Sam, I don't know if you know this, but his sex bot is a black man. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Robot sex?
Yeah, his name, he named it Groctimus, and it's a black male.
Groctimus.
Oh, you guys didn't know? You thought I was just doing a bit? No, he really has a robot that he takes with him called Groctimus, and it's a black guy.
No, I mean I believe you.
I believe you.
It's just, oh my god.
Look up Groctimus. You'll see it. He takes it all over with him. He's taking pictures with it. And the moment I saw it is like, bro, we don't need your big black bull robot picture. We don't need to know what you do, Elon. Why did you do this?
So that's I
thought for sure he was straight because he was with that Grimes broad, but hey, maybe he's a robosexual.
That's that's
he's a trisexual. He'll try anything.
We live in we sure do live in interesting times. Speaking of interesting times, so I actually do have I actually do have a bit of a fan thing from last week's show. So last week we kind of celebrated the Whitfield Report conquering Light Night, which and we did a 5-hour epic stream
Yep.
about it. We focused a lot on Stephen Colbert, and we mentioned Johnny Carson.
To be fair, because his show got canceled specifically, that's why we would focus on him.
Right. And my apologies to our sincere apologies to the audience for making their eyes and ears bleed for an hour, because we know nobody should have to watch Stephen Colbert for a prolonged
I am not sorry. Sam's sorry though.
Well, I'm
one of us has to be hostile to the audience. It's just
Yeah.
the way these things work. So it's got to be me, right? You're too nice.
Yeah, well, I will speak for myself. I am sorry for subjecting the audience to Stephen Colbert.
Occasionally, it might be Morpheus as well.
I have subjected audiences to 5 hours of a Dice Golden movie. I don't apologize for subjecting audiences to shit.
That is true.
My whole show is about making you uncomfortable by watching crazy people.
Yeah.
So I can't. Well, it would be out of character for me to be sorry for making them uncomfortable by watching a crazy guy. The crazy guy in this case being Stephen Colbert, in case anybody was unaware.
Are you not a crazy person, Max?
No. I just have been hitting the head a lot.
Yeah.
It's not crazy. It's called post-concussive syndrome.
Why wouldn't you be sympathetic to that?
Because that's one thing I don't have.
Now see, I do have a brain injury, so I am sympathetic to that.
Yeah.
But
they won't let me fucking fight. I talked about this like last summer, Sam. They're not gonna let me fight because insurance, because I had a heart attack and because I have had so many concussions. So I've taken up VR boxing, but we'll get there.
Very interesting. Anyway, though, so we subjected the audience to Stephen Colbert last week. And I did mention Johnny Carson last week and how Johnny Carson never brought up politics on the show. And as it turns out, a listener who wishes to remain anonymous sent me this clip in which Johnny Carson actually talks about why he never talked politics.
Before you get into the clip, I will say I don't think that's entirely correct that he didn't talk politics. It's just by today's standards, they would consider his show very political because he had very normal 1970s, 1980s opinions. So It was non-political at the time, but nowadays they would consider it extremely political.
I mean, yeah, that is fair, I guess.
Well, I'm speaking because, Zoomers might not understand that the politics of the time was so different that what you would call like a non-political thing then would not be now.
Gotcha.
But you're right that he would go out of his way not to alienate his audience on those types of issues.
Right. He didn't. He talked politics, just not. He didn't shit on half the fucking audience.
Right.
Yeah.
It's one thing to bring up an issue that everybody's talking about, and it's another thing to say, and half of you are wrong about it. Well, Johnny was great at just making a joke that both sides would laugh at about the same issue.
Facts.
So, this is a clip that a viewer sent me, and I had not seen this until it was sent to me, but I think it's pretty interesting, and I wanted to see what you guys thought.
Also, note
that really bug you.
It's an interview, not from his show, but rather an interview. So even when he's going to talk politics here, it's not in the context of the Tonight Show.
Right. So, yeah.
I thought I'd point that out, that even when he does talk politics, it's in a different venue.
Yeah. So, and I don't have an exact date, but I think this might have been like either after he retired or towards the end of his tenure.
It looks late 80s, early 90s, so I think you're right.
Yeah.
When you come out and do your monologues, which are really based on what you've read, do you go home and worry about things? Do you worry about this country? Are there things that really bug you that you can't say in the air?
You're going to get serious, aren't you?
A little bit.
I think one of the dangers, if you are a comedian, which basically I am, if you start to take yourself too seriously and start to comment on social issues, your sense of humor suffers somewhere. I've seen other people, whose names I won't mention, who do humor. And then somewhere along the line, they start to want to make their views known. I try to do it humorously. I try not to, and we've had some criticism on the show. Some critics over the years says, well, the show has no great sociological value. It's not controversial. It's not deep. The Tonight Show basically is to amuse people, to make them laugh.
Right. Which, what a concept, huh?
Yeah, wild. And he noticed he doesn't say, oh, I don't have any opinions. He just understands that the value of his opinions is not as big as other people might get to think if they take themselves. He said if they start taking themselves seriously. Exactly. Stephen Colbert is exactly that. His humor. Actually, no, Stephen Colbert was never funny. I take that back. He's never been funny. Jimmy Fallon is exactly that. Jimmy Fallon, I actually thought was funny at some point when he took over Conan O'Brien's show. At first, he had some moments where I thought he was funny, even though I knew politically we were, miles apart. But and Jimmy Kimmel did this as well. At some point along the way, those guys took themselves very seriously and thought, man, I got a platform. I have a duty to tell everybody about all of my wonderful ideas. It's just like Johnny said, your humor suffers when you do that.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
We kind of just cut out the bullshit middleman on it, and I think that's what's good about like modern internet late night shows, so to speak, or modern internet comedy like this, where we can put our biases right up front.
Yeah.
And I think that Johnny's way is good for a much larger audience. And our way is good for the internet's more microcosm economies where people will. So like, yes, we can wear our bias on our sleeve. We don't have to be like Johnny Carson.
Right.
But we understand that we're trading half of the population might not find us very funny.
Yep. Right. Yeah. I think to be fair though, I think us in particular, at least like I've gotten this compliment. It's one of the things I'm kind of proud of, and it's kind of become our motto to meet people where they're at, which means that sometimes we might go against the grain of what the right quote unquote thinks is kosher, or what they don't think is kosher. Mort and I were in a thread on this very thing just today, where I mean, I don't want to speak for more Morpheus, but I mean,
fuck purity testing.
More, you pretty much said that even though you voted for Trump, you wouldn't necessarily consider yourself a conservative,
right?
Still necessarily. I mean, I don't want to. Yeah, you were speaking mainly against like purity testing on both the right and the left.
I would put him where I'm at. He's a populist more than a conservative.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put me there, Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, at the end of the day, if MAGA goes away, I go away from the Republicans too.
Yep.
So, and this is an interesting predicament for the Republicans because, yes, if they do wait for Trump to, like, the neocons want to wait for Trump to leave and then take back over, they're gonna lose these numbers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going for a chicken warhawk motherfucker like Bush ever again. I will oppose that hard as
Till the
nails.
day I
right?
die.
I'd rather just sit out an election than elect another warhawk George W. Bush.
I've sat out so many goddamn elections. I'm not afraid to do it again.
Yeah, we will sit them out, and so for the conservatives, for the hardcore conservatives, they need to realize that the power that you've got through populism, you can't just give up populism and keep it.
Right. And so
even populism is retarded, like this Epstein stuff. You still have to abide populism. That's what's going on right now. I said last week, I've said a million times, I don't really like talking about that shit because it's such a waste of everybody's fucking energy. But the fact of the matter is, it is a populist thing now. So it has to be addressed. So even when the populists are stupid and against their own self-interest and only interested in something that doesn't benefit anybody, you still have to abide the fucking populists. That's the problem with populism, is that people can be stupid. Selfish, and motivated by misinformation.
Yeah. So one thing that I think that has kind of got everyone in kind of a tizzy this week is this Kids Online Safety Act, which let me pull up on screen. Thanks for sending these links, by the way, Morpheus.
Absolutely.
So, to start with, I would like to address this. If you told me to support the Kids Online Safety Act, I would immediately oppose it just based on the name and the fact that they always are the opposite of what the name is.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, Max, you actually got to my point. So, right, I didn't even have to really read what was so basically we did the opposite by Nancy Pelosi. We didn't even have to read the bill, and all three of us are basically saying fuck.
Shove it up your ass.
Until the average age of Congress does not fall into the boomer demographic, do not want them making any legislation on technology. As a matter of fact, I want every boomer out of there before we start making. And I'm not kidding, Sam. That's not a joke.
I agree.
People can't use Twitter on their phone. Why are they writing laws?
I actually got into a very heated. And first off, I want to make this absolutely clear. I love the ladies and gentlemen in the men's adventure fiction Discord that I'm in. Okay, great folks, love them, but we got into a very heated debate because they were talking out AI regulations and how it relates to writing and copyright. I kind of take the unpopular stance that I think AI can actually be very helpful for writers, as long as you're not relying on it.
We all take a very unpopular stance of like AI is not the worst thing ever,
right?
And among artists,
and even in my community, even in my communities, like again, we all love each other, but I'm kind of the odd man out. But I explained to everyone that that this isn't going to have the effect that you guys think it will, because corpos will still be able to use AI. And I basically said what you said, which is which is the boomer congressmen still have their college interns sending tweets for them. They don't know how to use their own iPhones, for God's sakes.
And somebody might ask, why does that matter? And the answer is they don't know how to use as a user the technology. That means they sure as fuck don't understand the back end of it.
Right. And
and that's my biggest problem. They don't.
The only thing they understand is the government wants a back end to it. That's it.
Well, but the thing is I don't even think that a lot of them do think this is some good fucking thing. They're not even, but like they're just boomers. They don't understand fucking technology at all, and they it's voodoo black magic to these people.
Yep.
Well, they don't know how code works. They don't know how it's accomplished. It's voodoo black magic, and they're trying to regulate this black magic. And I do not support that at all, ever.
Right. The other thing, and related to authors, and I'll give Eric Bishop credit for this, because he actually he said I made some valid points on this. A lot of baby boomer congressmen, they don't understand copyright laws. A lot of them, even so, and so.
They passed the DMCA, those boomers, and they didn't know about fucking any of that shit then.
Yeah.
Like the DMCA, like we all accept the DMCA as the law of the land, but I have been saying since its inception, it is a piece of shit legislation. Piece of shit legislation. It is the worst copyright act. If you are an artist and you care about your work, you do not want the DMCA to be the thing protecting it. And look what happens. You get copy struck. You get DMCA claimed, right? But can somebody steal your work and repost it very easily?
Yep.
So how did it protect anybody from piracy?
It hasn't.
All it has done, all the DMCA has done, has created copyright trolls who steal people's legitimate work and screw over people who make legitimate work by saying it's not your work.
Right, which is what a lot of these trolls are now trying to do with AI.
Right. And now AI is coming in and doing the exact same thing, and it's because nobody bothered to protect copyright and nobody cared in the DMCA, and Zoomers think DMCA means it's right. Oh, DMCA, that's serious shit. No, it's not. It's a fucking piece of shit law that won't hold up if you took it to the Supreme. If we got the case to take DMCA to the Supreme Court, Sam, I guarantee you that provisions of it would be labeled unconstitutional.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's going to be the same thing with this Online Safety Act. It was the same thing with the COPPA. It's the same thing with the PIPA. It's the same thing with the Online Safety Act of 1999 that we're still dealing with the fallout of. Every time they have legislated the internet, they have made it worse and fucked it up, because none of them are fucking the people making this. None of them have worked in the field. They like you said, they have their interns tweeting out for them because they don't even know how to use fucking Twitter. No, yeah. I don't want them writing a goddamn law about anything technological.
So I'll put this up on screen just for you in the audience to see, but I've read through this, and Born and I both have somewhat, and I think to basically summarize, and more, feel free to correct me if I miss out on anything. Basically, this Kids Online Safety Act is basically to prevent kids from seeing obscene material online, and basically it's going to require all these websites to start getting your ID.
Getting your ID. How'd that work out for the T app, Sam?
Absolute ass.
Funny you should mention that. Yeah. It's
all them bitches got doxxed.
So
and that's what they want for all of us. They want to dox the internet. Let's be real. It has nothing to do with kids seeing porn, and it has everything to do with they don't want us to be anonymous anymore. And Thomas fucking Paine opposes that. Thomas Paine, for those who are unaware, wrote Common Sense anonymously. Common Sense was the treaty about monarchy that convinced many Americans to participate in the revolution. This was written anonymously. Our country would not exist without anonymous free speech.
yeah,
When was the last time the fucking government and the fucking representatives gave a flying fuck about kids? It's always a goddamn Trojan horse.
Yeah, well, I would agree with this too, because right, anytime the government uses think of the children as an excuse,
without exception, it's been a Trojan horse every single fucking time.
Yes, so I kind of want to push back on again a kind of a conservative talking is, well, maybe
you said think of the children. I want to make my response to this whole thing very quickly.
Sure.
Think of the fucking adults.
Exactly.
Like, it's why does one of those evoke so much more problem than the other? Also, think of parents learning how to monitor their children. Oh my God, what a crazy concept!
We here are all MAGA supporters. How about make parents parent again?
Yeah, I mean it's very so. One thing I've often heard is, oh well, this is just going to affect porn sites.
No,
and
it's not. It is Spotify is already asking for ID, Sam.
Well, yes, I know. Thank you for
fucked Steam.
You jumped ahead of me, but even so, yeah, I mean, this is the whole thing, right? Is they're using like Pornhub and all these sites as like the testing, ground for a lot.
By the way, Sam, did you know that it's never been against the law for a minor to buy a parental advisory stickered album?
I did, actually.
Then why do you need, if you can, as a 14-year-old, buy any album at a record store, why do you need to ID for Spotify for dirty words?
Control.
It's control. Exactly.
Yeah, control. And yeah. Well, it is control. And to all these people on the trad right who are just saying, well, maybe people should just stop watching pornography in general. Okay. Well, the same argument can be applied, that nobody needs to own a gun because guns kill kids. So
right. You know what? Instead of just legislating the gray areas around guns, what we could do is just say nobody should have guns anymore. That's the same argument.
It's the exact same argument. And I've gotten into, believe it or not, quite a few spats with people over that this week because they try and argue that, well, those are two completely different cases, and it's like, no, in this case they're really not.
Nope.
I mean, they could even be limiting like they could even be like putting your gun magazines under like adult content, on
Oh, you think that gun related content's not gonna fall under it? Of course it is. Anything.
Haven't the payment processors already fucking tried this with fucking guns and gun paraphernalia?
Yeah, well, like even I'm talking at like even just like gun, like Guns and Ammo, the magazine.
No,
like,
yeah, I'm talking about YouTube channels. I'm talking about like you go on a gun website, you're gonna need an ID. That's what this is gonna. The pro-gun community is advocating a policy that will fuck them over.
Yeah.
Good job, idiots.
Yeah, the pro-gun. The pro-gun anti-porn, like this is, it's a very weird, like I don't know, it's a very weird double-edged it's very weird to catch 22 that some of these people have themselves in now.
I have a solution to the problems that's actually the same, right? So like, for guns, right? If you don't like guns, that sucks, but other people have the right to have them. If you don't, and you don't have to. If you think guns are really bad, nobody's gonna force you to ever touch one in your whole life.
Right.
That's what's true about porn.
Same thing. What a
No
concept.
one's forcing you to look at pornography. I hate to break it to you, but if you're looking at pornography, it's because you're horny and
But
you need
but Sydney
self-control.
Sweeney, Max.
It's not. It's like nobody's like, damn you! Look at this pornography. You're gonna look at it and you're gonna like it. Fuck's sake, bro! Change the goddamn channel and look after what your kids are watching. I fucking pay attention to when my kid's on his tablet. I have a fucking app that tells me every fucking thing he does.
Yeah, well, again, this goes back.
Max.
Yeah, well, this goes back to two things.
Video games on Xbox, I have parental controls set, and I allow him to. By the way, allow him to play certain M-rated games. That's not a problem, but I get to choose which ones.
Yeah, well, also that's the other thing too, because like if this were to pass, like Microsoft and Sony and Steam and all these other would require IDs for that, and after all the security breaches that these gaming companies have had, you think I'm going to give my state ID to these
no
fuckers? No.
So an easy solution to the problem that they're not even going to address because they don't actually want to solve the problem would be that, you see, there's already a verification of your age, Sam. It's called having a fucking credit card in your name.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. And so if you have a Steam account, let's say, with your name, address, and credit card attached to it, they do not need an ID to prove that you're over 18 unless you're using prepaid Visa cards. What I think it should be that if you use a prepaid Visa card, then you have to ID. I think that might make some sense. Or ban using those for these kind of sites. But my fucking debit/credit card proves I'm over 18, bro.
Right.
They don't give those to minors. They don't even give them to people under 21.
And
the credit cards, they'll give you a debit card when you're fucking 15, I guess.
Yeah, well, and that was the exact same argument that the owners of Pornhub actually put out, because they said that they weren't going to require the Face ID thing, and they actually brought up the fact that what you just said with the whole credit card and banking thing, and the fact that nobody I mean, I hate to be so cynical. I don't even think it's that they haven't thought of it. I just don't think it's that they don't care. This is just another way for
It wasn't like, hey, let's solve a problem. It was like, hey, how do we de-anonymize the entire internet?
Yeah, and one thing I do want to point out here is, like, a lot of these is that Richard Blumenthal is the one sponsoring that. He's a Democrat. This all goes back to, if you allow me to point out, if you allow me to put on my tinfoil hat, I think a lot of this is butthurt over the fact that Trump won the election using podcasts and whatnot, right? So they want to prevent, dangerous misinformation from reaching impressionable people, right? So they want my ID tied to Spotify so they know exactly what I'm listening to.
You know what's I would agree with you except for one thing. They already know that.
Yeah, well that's true too.
Yeah, that's like a lot of people don't seem to understand how surveilled we already are.
Yep.
To say that you want more surveillance, oh yeah, that's like saying, you know, I already have 3 dicks in my ass. Could you squeeze 2 more in?
Well, Max, it's the government. They're sure as hell going to try.
That's right.
And they're not even going to be biological dicks, Max.
Yeah, well, you know, at a certain point, they just start sticking shit in there. But, I mean, if you're begging for more dicks on the surveillance train and you don't think you're surveilled enough, I hate you. Like, genuinely. Like, the person that feels they're not surveilled enough by our government, I hate you. I wish you to die of natural causes.
In Minecraft.
Yes.
In reality.
Well, these are
At your house.
Well, these are the same people who probably the same people who want more surveillance are the same types of people who would probably kill themselves by dropping a toaster in the oven in the bathtub on accident.
Yeah, it's... Look, one, you're not going to stop kids from seeing porn, particularly teenage boys. They're going to find... Dude...
They couldn't stop us back in the fucking 90s when we were teenagers, Max.
You literally had to get verified with an ID to purchase pornography before the internet, and we still got it.
Yes.
We still found dirty magazines. This is a crazy thing, Sam. I found this out. I thought it was just me and my friends that found a cache of ultra dirty magazines in the woods. But it turns out that this is a very common experience for 80s kids.
Me and the homies, too.
Who is putting porn out in the woods, Sam? Who did this? Why?
Everybody's ashamed uncle.
There's fucking caches of porn all through the woods in the 80s for little boys to find. Somebody was putting it there. I want to know who.
It was Santa Claus.
It was Santa Claus, Max.
That's, you know, I would agree with that, except for that he gave motherfuckers a lifelong crippling porn addiction for Christmas.
Okay, Easter Bunny.
I was just thinking that, like, that sounds like some MK Ultra shit, right? Like, let's just leave porn in the woods in rural communities everywhere. What the fuck? But yeah, you're not going to stop kids from seeing boobs. It's not going to happen.
And yeah, no. And if anything,
unfortunately, teenage boys discover boobs, and then that's all we think about for literal years.
You know, Sam, what's another thing they don't like kids to see? Violence, right? Like shooting of guns. You know, this law wouldn't have prevented my son from witnessing a shooting right outside his house. Oh, right. It's almost like kids are going to see some shit in life. It's almost like you can't protect them like a
there is actually an argument to be made that like that violence is like eventually you would hope that your son would see a pair of boobs in their lifetime, right? But you would never hope
from his beautiful and virtuous wife that he'll marry and never have premarital sex with. Yes,
right. But you would never hope that your kid would, you know, go off to war and see someone getting their head blown off, right? So why is one so much more taboo than the other? I don't know.
I don't know. I think nowadays violence might be equal taboo. Well, you're allowed to talk about sex on YouTube. You're not allowed to talk about violence.
Yeah, that is true. And I did see that like YouTube's new rules are still gay.
Well, Hey,
Well,
now
further be
you can
gay.
say fuck in the first 7 seconds of a video. That changes everything. Although you better limit your fucks. You only get so many before you're demonetized.
But Max, what if I don't have any more fucks to give?
That's it. Then we're in trouble, huh? Yeah, it's such a like. I saw so many people like, oh, YouTube is getting better. No, it's not. It's the same. They're just not banning people as much. But then no, they're trying to drive independent creators off the platform. That's been the case for about 5 years.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is like people are like, well, the author interviews aren't as controversial. You could put those up, and like I said, I've toyed with that. But then I go back and like I've listened to a few hour in depth, interviews with like Andrew Nelson, where he's talking about like being a homicide cop and seeing like domestic abuse, and
Right.
I'm like,
Domestic violence right there is a word you can't say on YouTube.
Yep.
You
Yes.
can say fuck, you get a limited number of fucks, but if you say domestic violence, you're demonetized.
that it's wild to me that our interview with like one of New York's top cops would
Literally,
be
what else is he going to talk about but things related to police work? I mean, obviously he's got a lot more going on, but you see what I mean? Like he's a cop for what, 30 years total, something like that?
yeah over 30 years.
Of course he's going to talk about crime and policing but those words. Hey, I responded to a call of a homicide. Oh, demonetized.
Right.
Insanity.
But that's where we're at. That's where we're at now.
And just because people don't make this comparison, Sam, but you can turn on a TV and you can watch Forensic Files, you can watch CSI, you can watch all of them. They say all of these things, and they have bigger advertisers than YouTube does. They have Coca-Cola,
Facts.
American Eagle, fucking yada, yada, yada. All these people advertise on TV, and TV says all those words all the time. They have shows based on those words. Special Victims Unit, Law and Order Special Victims Unit is literally about sexual assault. The whole show.
Yeah.
And it's been going for what, 20 plus years?
Yeah.
But you can't say sexual assault on YouTube. You can't use those words. You can't say rape, but you can't even say sexual assault. And you can't, it got so bad, Sam, that I've seen normie ass women using the term graped.
Yeah, no, I've
that whitest kids you know sketch. The Grapist.
Yeah, no,
we live in sketch comedy world, Sam, where sketch comedies are just reality.
Yeah.
When the normies use alternative language, that's a problem.
Speaking of sketch comedy, MDE.TV, Extreme Piece 2, check it out. That's all I'm gonna say.
Speaking of bizarre comedy, Max, you want to know what was a joke that we were all forced to endure as kids? The DARE program.
Now, famously,
don't do drugs, kids.
Famously, one of the big clips from a couple years ago on this channel was me shitting on the DARE program and then saying how Hulk Hogan did a much better job in telling me, even though he was a hypocrite, right? He was putting a positive spin on things like train, take your vitamins, say your prayers, work out, become a champion. And here's DARE being like, don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. People in the neighborhood might have drugs. There's drugs everywhere. Don't take them, but take them.
Drugs are bad, okay?
And people mocked me. People saw that clip and they were like, Max, DARE's not that bad. Well, Sam, I recently came across this documentary I shared with you guys, and I'd love to see if you also agree that DARE is good.
DARE is trash.
Not only is DARE trash, but holy shit, DARE is like some deep state conspiracy thing that like I would have
literally
that had I been smarter, I would have set up DARE as like a plotline for like the shadows of deception saga or
Crazy,
something.
right? It's crazy when you start to see the pieces put together of what they were trying to do. Because the biggest complaint you hear about the DARE program, and I've been using this line a lot, good intentions, bad execution. But that's not the truth. The truth is they had bad intentions and executed it brilliantly.
Well, that's kind of the theme of tonight's entire show. What I'm saying is that like this kids bill, I don't even think has good intentions. I think it has horrible intentions.
Yeah.
I'm,
And we'll be
I'm gonna
lucky
I'm gonna read you I'm gonna read you something. To require certain interactive computer services to adapt and operate technology verification measures to ensure the users of platforms are not minors, and other purposes, and other purposes, and other purposes.
Well, they have to add that because it's automatic that if you're giving them their ID that they're keeping track of that data and they're selling it to somebody.
Right. I would, but my point is, I would have less of an issue if that last other purposes wasn't there. You want me to agree to something? You fucking narrow it the fuck down.
Yeah, they can't do that though.
They
Because
can, but
know
they
that
won't.
part of it is allowing these companies to sell that information. So
Yeah,
they
fuck
had
that.
to put that in.
Fuck that.
And what it is that's a tell. You know what I
Yep,
mean? That's a tell.
exactly. That's
They're
why I
like,
repeated
yeah,
it
Pornhub,
several times.
You can sell their IDs to fucking these Chinese data companies. You just got to take them. They're actually giving the company. Why do you think Spotify so quickly is getting set up to do it? Why do you think they're getting a benefit out of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to sell your fucking actual docs data to China.
And then we're gonna have to fucking have a massive influx of stolen identities because they're just selling it on the fucking market.
Yeah, especially now it's more beneficial than ever to get a stolen Social Security or whatever.
Yep.
For illegals. Locally, Sam, Market Basket is a grocery chain around this area. One of the ones, I think it was in New Bedford, Mass, which I used to live in for many years. Rough city. Rough fucking city.
Yep.
They went through this Market Basket and found that 167 of their employees didn't have any papers at all.
Holy shit.
None. No fake social securities, nothing. And so those people got fired. And man, you see the local news being like, what will these people do? These poor people. They lost their job for no reason at all.
They
It's like
can go
because they're
home.
fucking illegal and they fucking didn't even bother to get a fake social security. And then they're like, but now these people are vulnerable. ICE might come and pick them up. And I'm like, good, go get them.
You know what's what's interesting to me too is the same party that doesn't think that voter ID should be required thinks that ID should be required
for the fucking internet.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like
that's fucking wild.
Well, that's not only is that wild. It's like, okay, which way, Congressman?
Look, man, any Republican that votes for this shit is on my shit list, and they won't get off of it.
Same.
Looking at you, Marsha Blackburn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's already on my shit list.
Well, yeah. I hope that, well, first off, I hope that this thing dies in the House. Like, that would be the best. But like, Trump is
two more hurdles, Sam. If it doesn't die in the House, then they have to do the resolution bill that combines them both together, and then it has to pass both. So it's not as set in stone as people think that it's gonna pass.
No, but both of these bills need to fucking die once each, and then once again together.
Oh well,
Yeah.
if they die once each, they won't get put together.
Good.
Yeah, this is fucking this. I try not to swear, but this is total fucking bullshit. It really is.
Once again, I might have less of an issue with all of this if they didn't also add at the end of these all these goddamn bills all the fucking time to exempt the fucking cells.
What? Well, yeah. Well, yeah.
I think I would have a problem with this bill regardless.
Oh, me too. But I'm just saying. But then they go the extra step and say, "Fuck you." Government officials don't have to follow.
Yeah. Well, that's because we're just fucking pleb serfs and we don't have any say. And, we're not friends with Diddy and Epstein, so we don't really matter.
Right. That's the other thing. It's like they want to stop us from like
They want to claim to care about fucking kids, but they have to be fucking dragged to the fucking ends of the goddamn earth to do anything about Diddy and Epstein.
Well, I was going to say
about Epstein. They killed him.
Yep.
To be fair, that's what everybody says, right? I actually believe he committed suicide, but everybody else tells me they killed him. So you can't say they didn't do anything.
Sure did take them a while.
Well,
20 plus years.
I mean, I just don't like this idea they never did anything because they arrested a bunch of the people in the videos they found. They arrested him twice. He was convicted. He was convicted the first time. He would have been convicted the second time. But no one ever did anything about it, though.
Well, they did things, but they have to be fucking called to the fire first.
Well, the thing is like no matter what they did, it's never good enough. Like the Epstein people, no matter what happens, they're never going to be satisfied.
Right.
And that's why I honestly say I'm not even going to I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm not going to be like, oh, that's a valid position. I'm just like, okay, you people are, look, I didn't care about it to begin with because I understand what went on better than other people seem to. But if this is all politics is now, is just argue about the fucking Epstein files that might not even exist to the degree that you think they do, then I'm out of politics. And it's funny, a little shout out to our Discord. Friend of the show literally accused me then of saying I was going to censor him and I'm going to ban politics in the Discord. And I pointed out that I co-host a political talk show, you fucking faggot.
Right.
I just don't like the modern state of toxic politics. Yeah, bro, if I'm ranting about something like that in the Discord and you want to fucking chime in and tell me, like, that's fine, but don't cry when you get fucking reamed. Oh, I have a different opinion, but I own the server, therefore I'm just a censorious asshole. I've never banned anybody.
No. You're like hardly ever on the Discord either.
It's called Right to Offend HQ, but I'm gonna ban somebody for talking about politics, according to this guy.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Great.
I almost banned him for saying that. To be honest with you, I thought about it.
That would have been funny.
Yeah, I considered it. Like, oh, I'm such a ban whore, huh? Well, then you're banned. How about that? Get your wish. Careful what you fucking ask for.
That would have been funny. That would have been funny, actually.
But I get this all the time, man. I try and give people a platform, and they turn on me, and they want me to be a censorious asshole for it. There's several people that still despise me because they insinuated in their own mind that I was going to censor them when I never did.
Well, there have been some people who like. There have been some people who somehow think that like because I'm against like porn sites being required to like take people's facial ID and whatnot, I somehow like think that kids should like be looking at porn, right? They've gotten that argument, and it's like, no,
Nuance is dead. Your only position is you're either on my side or you're the enemy.
Yep.
That's it.
yeah,
I say I don't care so much about Epstein. I'm the enemy. I say I don't want fucking facial recognition and IDs for. I mean, it's not just porn sites, so I don't know why they even like. If it was just porn sites, I might not even know it exists.
well,
I
because
don't use those, so I would never.
right,
I wouldn't even engage with the conversation. I think for the most part. But it's not porn sites. It's video games, it's movies, it's music, it's everything.
Think of the kids.
yeah,
And if
well,
you don't think they're going to require ID for looking at Christian-based websites with Bible quotes on it, you're fucking retarded.
Facts.
Yes, they're going to start asking for ID for your Christian sites. They're going to start asking for ID for your conspiracy theory sites, all that shit. So
yeah,
Everything that they consider wrong think.
you're going to need an ID if you want to listen to Alex Jones.
it's good. It's going to
You
be.
got a license for that their podcast?
It's going to be a slippery slope, for sure. Well, if they require that, I mean, look, 20 fucking years is a long time to podcast. But if they're gonna censor me before then, so be it. So I don't.
Well, I'll say this, Sam. I would absolutely go pirate.
Yeah,
I will go full on renegade broadcast at that point.
Yep.
yeah, same here.
I've been fighting censorship for so long. I know how to do it. We get a nice cast stream set up real nice and easy, Sam. Might not be as pretty, but we could still broadcast. You ain't going to shut us down. I don't know what the point, like, I do think you're right that they do want to shut down a lot of political podcasts, but I think a lot of right wingers will do what I'm saying and just go pirate.
Yeah,
It's so easy now.
yeah, it is. But we shouldn't have we shouldn't even have to have this conversation. That's kind of my point.
This is the conversation that happens when you all get autistic about a fucking pedophile and say that you don't like the president anymore. Well, now he has no political fucking sway to stop this. So good look, Epstein bros.
Yeah,
Yes, I blame Epstein bros for anything bad in politics going forward. As long as they suck all the oxygen out of the room for every other topic, it is their fault when things go bad.
yeah. I actually, and for the record, like, I actually talked with Luke about this the other day, a friend of the show, and he agrees with me. They've gotten more ridiculous calls on Capitol Hill about Epstein, that they could be, utilizing towards like other legislation.
And we're just all the other topics don't matter. All the wins that we're getting don't matter. We literally killed woke and everybody forgot it existed 5 seconds later. But that's typical of the right. The right is a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off fighting each other, which is why I'm more of an independent.
Yeah, well, and that's why they've kind of lost me. Rush. I'll tell you what. Rush Limbaugh wouldn't be supporting this.
Rush would be pointing out to the Epstein bros that all the wins that we're chalking up and probably telling them not to give up, but just to calm down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Don't give up. But, bro, these children you're claiming are harmed are all in their 30s now. I don't think it's a matter of, oh my God, right this second we need to right this wrong. I don't.
The other thing
There
is
are
like
children being trafficked and molested and raped right fucking now that nobody cares about.
in your local area too.
Not just
Which
by rich guys, but by fucking poor immigrants too.
yep.
And so, yeah, there are kids that are in danger right now that nobody seems to give a flying fuck about. But these grown women, some of whom, by the way, if you listen to them, were very happy with their job on the island. I don't know if you knew that. Not everybody, and not every one of those girls that worked on the island is like, oh my God, it was the worst thing ever. A lot of them defend it. So what does that say?
Yeah. Says something.
It says that it's a trickier fucking subject than everybody thinks is what it says.
Well, again, nuance is dead.
Right.
Though.
So from now on, when anybody talks about Jeffrey Epstein, I'm going to ask what they're doing about pedophiles who are abusing children right now. And if the answer is nothing, then shut the fuck up.
Based. So we started to talk. We kind of started to talk out there, and how. Geez, I mean, So the fact that that Dare was encouraging kids to do drugs, that did not surprise me one bit.
And turn in their parents.
Yeah, that those two things, like, it should have been shocking, but I was actually like, that checks out. What did surprise me, and what I did not see coming, was intelligence gathering internationally for 500, Alex.
Yeah.
That,
and of course, like, that documentary doesn't even get into the reasons behind it all, because that gets into conspiracy territory, but I can fill in those blanks. But I want to start at the beginning, because you're somebody that's watched the documentary, obviously, but if somebody hasn't, first of all, it's by Chuppel, Chuppl, on YouTube, and it's about the DARE program and what you weren't told about it. And the first thing he discovers, and so going with what you said there, was that they knew before they instituted the DARE program conclusively that it not only didn't stop kids from getting on drugs, but more kids who took part in the program got on drugs. They knew that right away, without question. That alone blows up the good intentions but bad execution idea that everybody has in their head about DARE. No, they didn't have good intentions. They had awful intentions. Getting kids on drugs was a net benefit for them, but more importantly, getting kids in schools as informants, getting cops in schools as informants, and of course, using the kids to inform on their own parents. Those were primary goals, but a secondary goal was, at the same time that the rise of DARE was also the rise of for-profit prisons, Sam.
yep.
So, if you're a millennial, and even the older Zoomers, they stopped DARE for Zoomers at some point. Just know, the whole point of the DARE program was to get you on drugs and have you in jail, especially if you're poor. And Sam, when they say poor, who do you think that's going to impact the most as a community in our fucking country?
Minorities?
Minorities.
And who happens to be the majority population in prison? Oh, wait, it's black people, and it's from the 90s. And it's amazing that happened, huh?
Well,
You mean Joe Biden's 94 crime bill? What?
Yeah, Joe Biden's 94 crime bill was riding the DARE wave.
well, you want to know what? You want to know something else? And I realize that this is entirely anecdotal, but I went to a fairly middle class, like upper middle class high school, and a lot of my peers who went through the DARE program, they never did illegal drugs, but a lot of them got hooked on prescription painkillers, and so they've had pain pill problems. Dare never talked about that.
Alcoholism either, right?
Most of them no. The officer in our program did, but
it's not part of the curriculum to
yeah,
talk about
no.
alcohol, though.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the dare officer that I had. It was actually a neighbor of mine, and after he retired from the police department, he basically said that dare was a joke.
Well, and that's the thing is most of the dare officers didn't even know what the point of the program was.
He thought, well, he said he thought it was weird that it was geared towards 10-year-olds, but he also
Get them early.
Yep. So
yeah, but he wouldn't have had an idea about the for-profit prison stuff, and
no,
he also wouldn't have probably known because they hid the research that dare not only didn't work, but it was a negative. He wouldn't have known. They wouldn't have told him that, right? And so, but he can, as a logical thinking person who's running the curriculum, see some serious problems with it, and that's the case for a lot of dare officers after they got through with the program. You're right.
Yeah.
They all kind of start to say, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense, and this isn't the best way I would have done it, and all that shit. And of course, they thought, oh, well, that just means that the curriculum's outdated. We got to change it. But not really, because when they tried to do that, as you might have seen in that documentary, when they tried to change the curriculum, all the originators of it disappeared. Like fucking, they're just all gone.
Yeah.
Half of the people on the board own for-profit prisons, or they have some type of fight. Disney, there's a Disney heiress on there. They're all millionaires and billionaires, every last one of them.
Yeah, they can afford to put their kids into rehab. So also knowing that like a lot of them are like the Disney heiresses probably were on like drugs themselves of some kind.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, there were reports in the late 90s of like a whole bunch of dare officials getting arrested for drugs. Ironically enough.
Yeah, I remember like one of the weirdest things that I found out was that you could get high from like huffing paint. Had I not gone through dare, I might not know that.
Yeah. I had a friend. He was like the guy that'll do anything. And he heard about huffing Freon out of air conditioners from dare, and he did that, and it fucked his brain. I'm not even joking. It fucked his brain. He heard about it in dare, and it fucked his brain up for the rest of his life.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at the fact that your friend got fucked up. That's not funny. What is funny though is like in each of our cases, we all know someone who did some type of drug because they found out about it from dare, but probably wouldn't have found out about it otherwise.
Oh yeah, huff and glue, all that kind of shit that kids do at school to try and get high. And all of it got learned in the dare program, at least in my experience. Like, yeah, dare gave us a great education about drugs and where to find them.
I remember my mom went through my mom went through the dare curriculum once, and she said at one point, because she was reading about marijuana, and she said the way they're describing marijuana is actually more akin to LSD.
Correct. Yeah, and that's a big thing of why it was so ineffective is they just lied about marijuana, the most common drug on the earth that most kids. at least half of the kids that go through the program are going to experiment within their life. So if you lie to them about it, they're going to find out.
Well, they made it seem like you would have like a trip,
Yeah,
and that your brain would melt if you smoked Mary Jane.
correct. And but then later on in life, somebody hands you a joint, you take a toke, and none of that fucking goes down, and you're like, man, this is pretty nice. Yeah, so many people in my generation, that's their problem with Dare.
Yeah.
That they know they were lied to on a fundamental level, but what they don't understand, they think it's the good intentions, bad execution thing too. No, it's not. They meant for you to get on drugs. They wanted you to see them as hypocrites. They wanted you on drugs. They wanted you in prison because then they can get cheap labor for the state.
The first time I smoked weed, Max, it was like I don't have a lot of spasticity from cerebral palsy, not as bad as some others, but like honestly, for like one of the few times in my life, it felt like that shit went away for a bit.
Yeah, it's like
So
I bet you a lot of people would have been like, "Oh no, Sam, you should never try that because of the cerebral palsy," right? But like, no, there's no evidence that it would like ruin some, like even somebody way worse off than you with it. It wouldn't. It would just get them high and maybe hungry.
yeah,
You know, that's about it. That's, you know, like what else do you get out of it? This is the thing. They'd be like, the Dare program would be like, if you smoke one puff of the Mary Jane, you're gonna rob convenience stores and become an axe murderer.
yeah. No, that might as well have been what was like. You're gonna trip balls and commit like a shooting spree or something like.
Oh, my favorite was they all tell the same story. And that's because there's a real story that you can look into, but I'm not going to give you what the real story is until I tell you the Dare story, okay? The Dare story is there's this kid, he's like a teenager, and he smokes pot, and he gets so high that he thinks he can fly and jumps off a building. Did you know that story is not true, but there is a true story?
You mean you can't fly?
No, they still can't fly. However, he was on PCP, not marijuana. Yeah, PCP will make you think a bunch of shit, man.
So the drug that makes him walk.
So the drug that Shmuel keeps dosing me with then.
Yeah, the drug that Big Lurch took one time and ended up cannibalizing a woman. Yeah, PCP's a hell of a drug. And the kid that took the PCP and jumped off of a New York skyscraper, that's true. That happened. But again, he was on angel dust, not marijuana. He might have been on marijuana too. But I have never, Sam, smoked pot. I've smoked a lot of pot. I've smoked some of the best pot in the fucking world and thought I could fly. It's never happened. Not once.
Yeah, but like also, like that's the other thing though, like marijuana doesn't impair your judgment that much that you become a dumbass and think that you can like just jump off a rooftop either.
Yeah, but PCP
Pot
will.
makes me sleepy.
Oh yeah, well PCP will probably.
Yeah, PCP will make you do all kinds of wild shit, even LSD to some degree, if you have a bad trip or whatever. But PCP tends to make people a little more unhinged. Regardless, It wasn't marijuana. You don't smoke one hit of marijuana and jump off a fucking building. That's not what happens. That's insane. It's like
You mean marijuana's not a gateway drug?
No, but more. I would argue that they made it a gateway drug.
Yeah, it is a gateway drug, but Sam's right. It's a gateway drug because it's the outlaw effect. You know what the outlaw effect is?
Yep.
So for the audience, if somebody is a non-criminal type person, and then you outlaw a normal behavior that they do, they don't see the law as just. They see the law as wrong. And so a good portion of those people will just disobey what they consider to be a bad law.
Yeah.
So they're coming in and they're like, okay, marijuana makes me an outlaw. I'm already an outlaw just for possessing and smoking marijuana. Therefore, what's the difference to move up the chain to cocaine or to whatever else?
And those same people, I'm sure, would be the people today that are trying to pass off that coming to the country illegally doesn't make you a criminal immediately.
Yeah, exactly. But but you're a criminal for smoking pot, and the thing
Yep.
is that people, they know that it's like, oh well, I broke that law, and it wasn't so bad, and nothing really came of it, and that's why you'll get people. That does make marijuana a gateway drug because you can when it's illegal, you can only get it from drug dealers. So you have to know people in that scene, and you're probably going to end up knowing people that do other drugs too and being offered the opportunity to do them. So marijuana is a gateway drug until it's legalized.
Facts.
Which they should just do federally at this point.
Agreed. The legal marijuana in Massachusetts has just been a net positive, and it really has. Like, oh, some people will complain, oh, you smell pot here and there. Yeah, so look at the
I'd rather smell pot than BO.
look at the tax income alone.
Yeah.
My state has brought in the most tax income out of any state for marijuana.
Yeah.
And we have the lowest tax. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, your state did it better than Colorado did.
It's the
That's
one
for
thing
sure.
we didn't tax to death, man. It's the one thing we put low taxes on. Taxachusetts is called that for a reason, but for some reason, the marijuana tax is like 1/3 of every other state's. And we make way more money off of it. You know why? Because it's cheaper. People buy more of it.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, lower tax, yes. But I was talking, I think I was talking to you about it. You had mentioned it was something like $60 an eighth in Colorado. It was something like $60 an eighth or $80 an eighth. Chibi was saying in California.
Yeah, it's like wicked expensive out west.
Do you want to know how much an eighth is in Massachusetts right now, Sam, the average?
Like $10 or something like that, if I had to guess.
$8 is the average. The average ounce price here is between 40 and 60. And we have low taxes. That helps. So, yeah, they brought in a lot of fucking money that way.
Well, also though, like I imagine, like Colorado has also made like the whole marijuana experience like a super bougie experience now too, which I fucking like.
True.
Hate.
So we have some of the. I think that's, you're right. Is that most pot shops go for that bougie shit. The ones out here, I'll take pictures sometimes. Literally, the place I go to put out a giant fucking speaker PA system all summer, and they play like uncensored hip hop, like with the N words and everything. Sam,
Yeah, I mean,
anti bougie.
yeah, I wish I would have taken a few photos while I was in Colorado, but like going to buy marijuana in Colorado legally is like going to buy like a Cartier watch. It's like going to a fucking jewelry store or
Yeah,
or
we have that.
something.
We have that here too. But what happened is the place that I used to frequent targeted millennials with it's a more bar-like atmosphere. They got music. They were looking for not the upscale bougie shit like you're talking about. It's a little darker. You know what I mean? It has a club vibe. And they outsold all the boomer bougie shops. So now half the shops in town are geared towards millennials and Zoomers, and all the bougie shops are overcharging boomers.
Of course.
So if I go down to my shop and I say I want an ounce of whole flower high THC, yeah, you're talking like 60, 70 bucks. If I go to the boomers bougie place, you're talking 180 bucks. For the
Damn.
same shit, essentially. But hey, it feels like one of those micro brew bars, though, so it must be good, right?
Right, totally.
But instead, the millennial place is basically selling like fucking Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, no, same with the cigar shop in town.
I will say that I'm angered, Sam, by a Massachusetts law that's coming. They're trying to pass it so that pot shops can have a smoking section. I am opposed to that, and the reason is because they banned cigar stores from having a smoking section.
That's gay.
That is gay.
Now, I got a cigar bar that I got a VIP to in Rhode Island that some of us go to. Shout out to Rhodey, shout out to Nick the Were Jew and all them guys down at the fucking cigar bar. But yeah, like Massachusetts outlawed smoking any establishment, and now they want to make an exemption specifically for pot shops. And I don't approve. I want it for cigar stores as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because, man, I would like to not have to travel halfway through Rhode Island to go to a good cigar bar. Shout out to that place, though. If you're ever in, there's only one cigar bar, so everybody in Rhode Island that knows it would know it. You might see me. Probably not. I'm not there all the time, but I go occasionally.
Yeah, the tall dude. So, by the way, this for those viewing, this is the documentary here at the top. Dare the real reason cops told you about drugs.
Yeah, I highly recommend watching it because he lays out a lot more evidence and things than we have discussed, because we're just discussing, the overall premise. But if you want to see like where the dots get connected, he makes a lot of those. I'm the one connecting the dots for the for-profit prisons and the targeting the black population, Sam, but I stand by that.
I believe, because I started to watch this documentary like a while ago, Dare was a bigger failure than most people realized. And I believe that they do cover that in this one, but I'm not.
Yeah. So, yeah, essentially the DARE program was a backdoor way to get black people back into slavery. And look, man, I know a lot of people are going to be like, Max, you're spewing black conspiracy theories again. Well, I'm from a very black community. I've had black friends my whole life. And guess what? Black conspiracy theories, some of them aren't fucking bullshit. And that's one of them.
Yeah, no, saying that the CIA was like pushing crack into the ghettos.
Yeah, literally at the same time as this. Isn't that coincidental? That they put in the DARE program that was supposed to get black people in jail and also gave them crack. Really makes you think. Yeah, no, like this shit's real, and I get it. A lot of people are sick of hearing the black perspective on things, the black fatigue or whatever. But the thing is like, yeah, there's some wild black conspiracies, just like there's some wild QAnon conspiracies. But a lot of the black community's conspiracies like that are rooted in something that they know to be somewhat true, even if they don't have proof. And this is one of those things. They know the government was trying to lock up as many black men as it could through the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. They ain't stupid. Right? They know that the intention was to get as many of them in jail as possible. And it was.
Oh, yeah.
And you could sit there and say, no, that's not what it was. Yes, it was. If you're targeting poor people with this, It's going to disproportionately affect black people in the ghetto, Hispanic people in the ghetto, and yeah, white poor people too. And look at the prison population. That's exactly who's in there for drugs. It's young black men, young Hispanic men, and young white men in jail for drugs at an alarming rate. In the black community, it's something like 20 to 30% of black men will be incarcerated.
Hunter
Yeah, I
Biden's
mean,
not in prison for drugs.
you mentioned you know, poor white men too. I mean, I was in the Appalachians. There are a lot of, you know,
Oh yeah, they got hit hard by the prescription drugs and meth down there,
yeah.
and they're
Oh
poor as
yeah.
shit. And as far as politicians are concerned, poor Appalachians and poor black people in the ghetto are the same thing.
Well, Max, we've heard the term. That's just flyover country. They don't.
Yeah,
Facts.
Which for the uninitiated, yes, flyover country is the part of America that the elite fly over from New York to California and back again.
Pretty sure flyover country is what got Trump the elections.
and it's funny because the only reason me and Morpheus aren't technically in flyover country is because we're a little bit to the east of New York, so they don't fly over us.
Facts.
But they consider our areas the same. Like if you listen to New Yorkers, upstate New York might as well be rural Alabama.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And they think out here is like the Wild West, right? Like they think this place is fucking crazy, Mass and New England as a whole.
Yes, as soon as people hear that I'm from New York, they're like, "What part of the city are you from?"
I'm from Massachusetts. You're from Boston? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm from Boston.
I'm from about 7 hours north of fucking New York City, fuckers. There's a whole motherfucking state above that fucking piece of shithole city.
Well, it's crazy because if I'm from a capital city of a fucking state, I'm literally right next to Providence, Rhode Island. I'm nowhere near Boston.
Which there was this podcast called Crime Town, which did an entire, like, it was one of those audio true crime podcast documentaries. They did an entire documentary on Buddy Cianci to make him look bad, and then I actually looked at Buddy Cianci and I'm like, this guy was kind of based.
I used to wear a Free Buddy t-shirt when he was in jail for years. Hashtag Free Buddy. Buddy Cianci did great things for Providence. May he rest in peace. I don't care if he worked with the mob. The mob did a good job. They cleaned the fucking town up. What do you want?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, like he could get the mob to help clean the town up rather than shit it up. That's fucking a miracle.
Yeah, I'm not saying that the mob was good, but when they're...
I am.
Well, I was gonna say I'm not saying that the mafia is good, but when they're more honorable than the cops in some respect, then yeah.
Nah, out here though, like legitimately, oftentimes the mob is the cops, or at least it was when I was younger. In Boston, dude, if you had to go to the cops, that meant you were going above Uncle Jimmy's head. And if you go above Uncle Jimmy's head, you'll be lucky to keep your own. He was the police chief.
Well, people would say, but Sam, the mob would probably beat you up, even though you're already crippled. No, Buddy would. Jimmy would probably be protecting my ass in this.
I don't know. How Irish are you?
Only half.
Mother or father?
Father.
Okay. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. You'd be all right. You do look Irish enough, except for the eyes.
Well, I'm also Italian, so I could get the New York families to, protect protect
But
me.
yeah, like if somebody's selling drugs to kids in these areas, oftentimes the cops don't even like by the time the cops even know about it, they can't do nothing. But Uncle Jimmy doesn't follow rules like that. By the way, Uncle Jimmy, for those that don't know, I call Whitey Bulger Uncle Jimmy, and I'm not going to apologize for that because that's how I was raised. And I met him at his barber shop and was told to address him respectfully, and I still will. May he rest in peace. He never wronged me. He never wronged my family. And as far as I'm aware, all the people he killed, there was some sort of justification for it.
Yeah.
And that movie with Johnny Depp is bullshit because Uncle Jimmy never swore. Never.
I
He
don't
might have killed people, but he didn't swear, Sam.
I don't disagree
That's
with
slanderous.
I don't disagree with anything that you're saying by the way.
That's right. Well, look, sometimes there's an official government to take care of your problems. And sometimes you're the Irish population that gets called potato N-words and have to take care of yourself.
And look, I know Michael Francis is a bit of a grifter. We've established that. But he is right at one thing, which is that the mafia has more honor and integrity than the politicians in Washington, D.C. That is a true fucking statement.
Yeah, I mean, it's not universal, but more true than not.
This country would be much better run under John Gotti than under Obama.
Jeez, you know, you're siding too much with your Italian side here, Sam, for my comfort level.
Or Whitey.
Morpheus approves.
Yeah, no. See, the Italian mafia is a little different, Sam. They do shit that I don't approve of.
What's the matter?
Uncle Jimmy killed some people, in some cases because it's self-defense, okay? And in a lot of cases it's because they were dealing drugs to kids over and over and over again. Yeah. That's a little different than the Italian mafias. Fucking, they'd be killing people all the time in the 70s, 80s, 90s, so.
Oh, yeah.
I'd much rather have the restraint of an Uncle Jimmy and people like, he killed like 12 people. Well, we don't know. We're not sure.
Yeah. You know,
there's only 3 bodies, so that's really hard to fucking make a case for. And 2 of the 3 were self-defense, and then the third one was thrown out of court. He didn't go to jail for killing nobody, if you didn't know. He went to jail for extortion.
That's usually how you get them.
Yeah.
Extortion, tax evasion, and then, running from the law for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, technically, he's not convicted of killing anybody. So, Whitey Bulger was innocent, is what I'm saying. Innocent man, did nothing wrong.
True.
Hero to his community.
That man was a saint.
You know who's a hero to his community that doesn't get enough love, Sam? I've never been more activated about the idea that I need those fucking Malcolm X files.
Facts.
Motherfuckers want to talk about Epstein file. Look, man, that ain't even been a 30-year where you can get everything. They won't give you everything. They literally can't because of the 30-year rule. Malcolm X has been 30 years, and I want to know what reasoning those 2 young street hoodlums had to shoot him in a church giving a sermon. I want to know, because I have a sneaking suspicion that the CIA paid them to do it.
I mean...
And then they spent the next how many years slandering Malcolm, saying he's the violent guy and you shouldn't listen to him. Fuck that shit. That ain't true.
Yeah, it's...
His argument was if your neck is being stepped on by an oppressive government, you should rise up against it. That's the most American shit I've ever heard.
He also said that, and I know I'm butchering the quote, but there's nothing in a newspaper which can be believed or something. He was skeptical of the corporate press before a lot of people
Yeah, he's
were.
sort of where I got that from, like originally. Again, I grew up in a pretty black community. A lot of my friends were black, and they're like, "Hey, have you heard about Malcolm X? I'm reading this autobiography." I was like, "Is it good?" Yeah, yeah. I started reading it, and man, the only things I disagree with Malcolm X on are a matter of perspective. Like that he's black and I'm white, so I have some slight differences in perspective. But otherwise, I think the bulk of what he was saying was the true and useful.
Yeah.
I'm a big Malcolm X supporter. I think he's one of the most maligned characters in the civil rights era and doesn't deserve it. They treat him worse than all the KKK guys of the era who are meeting with like Marcus Garvey and shit.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that.
That's because Malcolm's message, if many black people actually adopted what he was saying, would be bad for the government at the time because they were trying to institute the welfare state, which is exactly what he was warning against. That the welfare state would take the fathers out of the home of the black community. And then further than that, he said that it'll happen to the white community too. It'll just take longer. Well, here we are, flash forward all these years later. The fatherlessness rate that he was talking about in the black community has reached 72%. And the fatherless rate in the white community, children born out of wedlocks, has reached the upper 60s. We're almost at parity. He was right. The welfare state, it took a little longer, but it ruined everybody.
Yep.
You replace dad with the government, that's what's going to happen. We need dads. That's what we need, Sam. That's the answer. Don't abandon if you have a kid, don't abandon them is my advice, gentlemen. Even if the bitch is crazy, you don't have to stay with her forever, but do not abandon your children. Teach them to be men. They need you.
Don't fuck crazy.
Yeah, that too. Well, hey, sometimes shit happens. And go, hey, but don't take it out on the kids. Don't abandon your kids. This is the most important thing you could do. This is what Malcolm X was telling people. And if they had listened in the black community, they'd listen in the white community, we wouldn't have fatherlessness rates through the roof like we do. The fact that the majority of kids are born out of wedlock is insane.
Yep. I mean,
and it's the only time in recorded history that that's been true as well.
To be fair, I mean, to be fair, I mean, I was one of them.
Me too.
But I mean that's also. I mean, I turned out fairly. I turned out fairly okay.
Your dad didn't abandon you. You guys might have some disagreements, but he's still to this day a part of your life.
Yeah.
Were you were born out of wedlock?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
yeah, so was I.
But I mean, like, you know, my parents were also, I guess, I mean, older. My mom certainly was. She was 37. So.
Yeah. See, I met my biological dad when I was 16, and he died when I was like 22.
Damn.
Met my biological father probably when I was 17, shortly after one of my major back surgeries, and he died 2022.
Yeah.
From an alcohol-rotted brain.
Man, that's a little too close to home because, yeah, my biological father, they had done a surgery, removed most of his fucking liver, told him if you drink again, you're going to die. Guess what happened?
He drank again.
Got lonely.
Actually, since I've already gone this far, may as well finish the story. He had four kids. I was the oldest. So, in a nursing home down in fucking Florida, they wanted me to fucking take power of attorney. I've literally only met the fucking man once in my entire, at that point, 38 years of life. I'm like, I barely know the man. Get a hold of my half sister. I don't need this on my conscience.
Yeah.
And
Well,
hung
it's
up.
like, oh, you need me to do for him. Well, you could have told him to be here for my life.
Right.
Yeah. I did have the pleasure of punching my biological father in the face one time,
I wish I had.
but it wasn't because of me. You see, he hit my half sister in front of me, and I didn't take kindly to that.
Yeah, I'd have done that too.
And then he ran home, and I went and he lived down the street. So I walked down the street, knocked on the door. He opened the door. He was drunk, obviously. And I just punched him in the face, and I said, "You don't ever touch her again." And I just left. He didn't have anything to say because he was on the floor.
Damn.
Well, I don't take kindly to men who hit women, Sam, in front of me. That's a good way to get your ass kicked.
Yeah. No, not.
I have the physical presence to enact that, so I feel obligated to do it. So if somebody hits a woman in my presence, it doesn't end well.
Indeed.
Not a fan. And she was a teenager, so it was even worse, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "That's my daughter. You don't get involved." And I'm like, "I don't fucking care."
Yeah, that's a shitty justification.
And you're like, that's my sister. Fuck you.
Well, I said half sister to explain that she's his daughter, but I don't really see it that way.
Understandable.
It was just a family friend or something, right?
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with them. I didn't really know them. So to call them half sisters is weird.
Right.
But it explains why he's hitting the girl. See, if I just say that half sister, everybody's like, okay, that's his daughter. But I would never say it in any other context. No, I haven't seen her since she was 15 and she's like 30 something. So it's just not my family, you know.
Reasonable.
I don't really have. My
And
family now, as famously, I've disassociated from my biological family about 16, 17 years ago. I haven't talked to anyone except for my brothers since then.
Yeah, the only people.
And I won't ever talk to my mother again.
Yeah, the only one on that side of the family that I talk to on any semi-regular basis were my grandparents, because despite what my jackass biological father did, they actually kept up with my life and whatnot. Unfortunately, they also passed shortly before COVID.
That's rough. Yeah, it's tough out there, man. It's like my stepdad obviously hated my guts, and I'm not joking or exaggerating. He like actually like disowned me, and was a big fan of my mom's abuse of me, obviously, because he allowed it for 20 something years. So, yeah, I had to make myself a man. And so this is, if the younger guys, if you ever wonder why I'm hard on you, it's because most of you have advantages to becoming a man that I didn't have.
Yeah, thankfully I had my mom's dad, grandpa, my poppy.
Yeah.
I had, and this is the thing, I kind of got into this about the Aussie thing. It's even worse with the Hulk Hogan thing. That's who I had to look up to as a man. And everybody out there that's like, no offense, probably even you guys are kind of posers by my logic when it comes to Aussie. Maybe not Mort, but definitely Sam. Sorry, Sam, but I don't think you're a big Aussie fan. I think you like a couple of his radio songs, right? There's nothing wrong with that.
That's fair.
But for me, y'all people like you kind of took, mourning away one of my father figures from me. And then it's all about this fucking shitty TV show that he was abused on, that everybody loved. But to me, it was a symbol of him being completely demasculated and ruined.
Yeah, that show was shit.
Yeah. And then like Hulk Hogan, it's the same thing, man. You might have saw him in the 90s as a kid when he was a bad guy. I was a Hulkamaniac from birth.
I never saw Hulk as a bad guy.
I was more of a warrior guy when I was younger.
Okay, yeah, but you're not even old enough to say what Mort just said. You're talking about Hollywood Hogan.
That is fair.
I said the same thing to my wife. I went up when I first heard about it. I went upstairs and she was crying and she said Hulk Hogan died, and I'm kind of an asshole thing to do, but I was like, "You're not even old enough," and I walked out of the room. It's like, that's not fair, but it is. It is fair.
That is also the most Max move ever.
Facts.
Ever too.
Felt bad afterwards, but at the moment I'm like, God, yeah, I do feel like these mainstream leeches have taken away the ability to mourn for people who were like impacted by them in a serious way, like I was.
Absolutely.
That is fair. I'm probably going to be the same way when Clint Eastwood passes. Although, God, the man's not almost 95, so at this rate, he might very well live forever. Stan Lee was definitely
It's not
one.
the same, Sam. It's not the same. It's not. You grew up looking at old shit. That's what you're talking about. I grew up with Hulk Hogan during his peak, with Ozzy in the 80s and 90s during his peak. It's not the same as looking back and saying, I really like Clint Eastwood's movies. Man, he's only made a few movies in your whole life.
Yeah.
You're talking about movies made long before you were born, and I can certainly see, but like, it's not the same as a father or something. He's more like a great grandfather in terms of age disparity.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not trying to diminish it, but what I'm saying is it's a different thing. It's like for Mort and I and people of our age, right around 40, Hulk Hogan is, if not their father figure to some degree,
He was our childhood.
Dad. It's either their second dad or their father figure. That's how big a deal it is.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I didn't have a first dad. Hulk Hogan taught me to fucking train and eat my vitamins and say my prayers. And like I said in that famous rant, yeah, it didn't matter that he was a hypocrite. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we didn't know that until years and years later.
Yeah, it did not matter that he was a hypocrite, and I fucking hate when people point that out. I was like, who cares? The message was good. It worked in a positive way on me. You're trying to take that from me? Fuck you.
I'll add to that. I'll add to that too, though, because I mean, yeah, we're all hypocrites at some point. He had what everyone forgets when pointing out that he's a hypocrite is he had a redemption.
Pretty sure he had recently given himself over to Christ.
Yeah.
I could say, yeah, it was great that he converted. I won't call it a full redemption arc because he never stopped being the biggest liar that ever lived.
True.
Now, that's part of who he is. He's larger than life, but he tells a lot of bullshit, or he did tell a lot of bullshit. And I think that this was what I mean. I think everybody's simplifying his legacy. I think everybody's overdoing it. And for example, the racist stuff. No black professional that he worked with thinks he's a racist. None.
Facts.
Right.
Now, there are black wrestlers that think he's a racist that did not work with him. didn't know him. You could read the comments he said in a video that you weren't supposed to see because it was taken without his consent and released without his consent, and he beat Gawker to death over it. But you can still look at those and you could say, oh, well, he said the N-word. I guess he's done forever, huh? That's how it works, and I don't approve of that. I don't agree. He had a very boomer take. You know the boomer take. Do you know what he said, Sam?
No.
Okay. So what he said was his daughter, Brooke, was dating a black guy who was a rapper. And he was a gangbanger. Now, you know how boomers feel about the N-word, right? That they think it applies only to specific black people they don't like
Yeah.
when they use it. That's what he was doing. He said, I'd rather have her dating a successful businessman black guy, not an N-word. So he was just doing the boomer thing where they say that, oh, well, no, the N-word only applies to certain black people.
Right.
Now that's stupid. We all know that that's stupid. We all
Right.
know that that's not exactly how it works.
Yeah, no, that's I kind of figured it was because that's how my grandfather thought of.
Yeah. Oh no, my black friends, they're not that, but those black guys are. I get what
Right.
they're trying to say, but it does not age well. It doesn't. However, if you put all of that context into what Hulk Hogan said, it's not really as racist as they would have you believe.
Well, again, this is what we've been talking about. Nuance is dead.
And again, like you said with the redemption arc, my nuance take is he continued to be a bullshitter long after that. Long after he converted to Christianity, he was still lying through his teeth all the time.
Yeah.
He was a man, a complicated man at that. Not so simple. But,
Well,
you see, you saw him in the Hollywood era and you thought probably it was cool. So did I. Difference being, though, I was at the age appropriate. You were like a little baby. Right?
Sure.
Why did I think he was cool then when I thought he was like, why did I turn with him? Because he grew up with his fans. That's why.
Right.
That's why he's so fucking memorable. He grew up with us. He changed. He evolved. Everybody wants to say he's stale. Everybody wants to talk about the 5 moves of doom and all this fucking shit. Bro, Hulk Hogan is the greatest professional wrestler who has ever lived and probably will ever live. And if you don't fucking agree with that, go watch AEW, faggot. All 15 of you who watch it.
Well,
go find Hogan's Japanese stuff. It's great.
But that's, again, this is, I get that, but that's the work rate argument.
I know. I'm just saying. My point is, I just wanted to say the man could go. He just didn't in WWE.
You check in AWA as well. You can check Mid-South for sure. He didn't do that much in WWE because he didn't need to.
Right. Exactly.
Because he was the best worker. He wasn't the best work rate guy. He wasn't doing fucking Olympic style wrestling, but he threw one fucking kick and the crowd's on their feet. He throws one fucking punch. He goes like this. That's not even a move. The crowd's on their feet. That's what makes him the best ever. No one, not The Rock, not Stone Cold, has ever had that much of an effect.
I mean, he is one of, if not the ultimate showman.
Yeah.
I can say that for certainty.
And that's part of his lying shtick. He's just trying to be entertaining, and he tells lies to do it. If you look at most of Hulk Hogan's lies, they're harmless. But he never stopped lying.
Unfortunately.
Like he said he did a show at Wembley Stadium for a kid with cancer. That never happened. That just didn't happen. There's just no such thing ever happened. But he keeps telling the story right up until he died.
Right. So, right, and so therefore, I've seen people say that makes him like the worst, piece of shit ever, and that they're trying to vilify him.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is that one cancer kid might not be real, but Hulk Hogan through Make-A-Wish, Hulk Hogan through dealing
Right.
like Hulk Hogan dealing with sick kids was like an everyday occurrence, literally until he died.
Yeah, we even read the story last year of how he punched through an airbag to save a girl's life or something like.
He never turned down a kid for an autograph or a picture.
No.
As big as Hulk Hogan is, he never turned a kid down. Adults? Yeah, he turned adults down if he's busy, but never a kid. And he did more Make-A-Wish kid stuff with, again, kids like you could have met with Hulk Hogan when you were a kid, for sure. He would have met with somebody if fucking he got in the program or whatever. That's what he did. He loved it. He loved the kids. He loved being a positive role model for kids. He had fun as a bad guy, obviously. After being a role model for so long, he got to cut loose in WCW for a bit. But notice, what did he do after that? He went back to the role model shit for the rest of his career. He was a little heelish in TNA, but that was more because people didn't want him in TNA. To be fair, they didn't want him and Bischoff in TNA because they had killed WCW. They were afraid they were going to kill TNA. Seems like TNA is a zombie promotion, though, because it just doesn't die. So, do you know TNA has now lived longer than WCW did?
Yep, shit, I was talking about TNA being on the outs 10 years ago, and they're still fucking around.
Yeah, that pay-per-view wasn't bad. Although I've been big on AAA lately. That's my favorite wrestling.
Also, yes, Chuck Mangione did die, but to be fair, I already thought he was dead.
I didn't know or care. He did like a song in the 70s on the radio, and then is a meme from King of the Hill. Yeah, it's
pretty much.
I love that people like celebrity deaths come in threes. Hulk Hogan, Ozzy Osbourne. You're really gonna put him as the third?
I know, like I'm a jazz guy. Even I'm like, really, Chuck Mangione? Come on.
Nah, it's tragic for his family, but he was older than dirt.
No, the third, which came first, was Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Hulk Hogan was in good health 2 months ago.
Yeah.
That's why it's weird. The Ozzy thing's not even as sad to me. I knew when he said it was his last concert, he was going to die this year. I'm surprised nobody else realized that. Like, y'all didn't get what he was doing?
Oh, he definitely knew he was going.
Oh yeah.
Just the way he sang "Mama, I'm Coming Home," you could tell.
Yeah, he knew. I'm surprised nobody else knew. He's been sick for a very long time. It's funny because people watched his demented, crazed behavior from when he was in his 50s and 60s on a TV show. And then they don't think that he might be in ill health now 20 years later. Bro, he couldn't talk when you watched him on TV 20 years ago. Why do you think he would be in good health now?
Yeah.
Like, come on. So Ozzy,
because he's rich and money can fix everything.
I wasn't shocked at all by Ozzy. I was shocked that Hulk Hogan died. I'm not going to lie. Chuck Mangione, like you said, we didn't even know he was still alive. And you're a jazz guy and you didn't even know.
Yeah.
So, look, he's a good musician. I'm not going to shit on his music, but man, he was also very old and lived a good life. You could say that about both Hulk and Ozzy.
Good musician, but he's not a good musician, but he's also, as far as like jazz people go, he's not like Miles Davis.
Facts.
or he's not Pat Metheny. He's someone who transformed the genre.
No, and the only reason more people would know his name than Pat's is because of King of the Hill.
Right.
Facts.
Yeah, and because you go into any supermarket, at least here, and that song's been playing for
up here too, Sammy.
Yeah, since before I was born.
But people wouldn't even. I think without the King of the Hill thing, most people wouldn't even put two and two together with the song.
Oh yeah,
it's literally like 90% of the people upset. Literally, their only experience with him is King of the Hill, one episode.
Right.
But yeah, he's on an equal tier with Ozzy fucking Osbourne and Hulk fucking Hogan, right? I mean, even if you're like the ultimate jazz guy, you would be like, yeah, nah, not really. He's more like mid-tier. And then Rumble died.
Got Sammy.
That's fucking tragic. I'm in the morning.
And not even upper mid tier, like mid or low mid tier.
Max, that comparison was so ridiculous that Rumble just decided to yeet me. Even Rumble knows that
yeet the cripple.
That tried to put Chuck Mangione in the same category as Ozzy and Hulk.
I have come up with a foolproof method of asking people and knowing whether I'm going to be okay with them mourning Ozzy or not. You ready?
Sure.
Okay. Who's Randy Rhoads?
The shit.
Okay. You get one more question. Who's Tony Iommi?
The drummer for Black Sabbath.
Sam, so fucking close, but no, he played guitar in Black Sabbath. He is the band Black Sabbath.
Facts.
Every other member of Black Sabbath changed except for Tony Iommi, the guitarist, who basically coined the term heavy metal because he worked in a metal shop and he got the tips of his fingers cut off. And that's why he played the way he did and created this darker sound that Black Sabbath is known for that spawned metal. That's who Tony Iommi is. So if somebody tells me they don't know either of his two best guitar players, and I'll give you the third one is Zakk Wylde, but you would have known that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's how I know you're like mainstream fan, because you would have known Zakk Wylde. But you didn't know Randy Rhoads, the guy he replaced, the guy that was like one of the best guitarists of all time.
And it was so hard for me to not answer.
I know. That's why I asked him and not you, because you would have given me all the right answers and it'd be less entertaining.
Facts. I'm sure
you came close enough that I'll give him
right. And I'm sure you could have mentally seen me, Max. Like I want to answer.
I could feel your discomfort when he said drummer.
Yeah.
I felt it too. I was like, oh, it's so close. It's so close, Sam. He was either the drummer or the guitarist, and you picked the drummer. Ah, so close.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean is like, for me, these aren't just names. You know, for me, this is like a part of my whole youth. Listening to Black Sabbath, listening to Tony, listening to fucking Randy Rhoads. Perfect example of some of Randy Rhoads' work that you would know, Sam, would be Crazy Train, Mr. Crowley, Diary of a Madman, Mama, I'm Coming Home. Every big Ozzy song from the 80s or 90s, Randy Rhoads.
Yeah.
Zakk Wylde came in to replace Randy Rhoads when Randy died. That's way oversimplifying it. I understand metal fans, but I'm explaining to Sam.
Right.
Give me some slack. Because it wasn't just because he died. There was more to it than that.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
He came in because there was a guitarist slot, okay? And now Zakk Wylde is he's a great guitarist. I'm not saying he's not. But most of the material he recorded with Ozzy was just re-recordings of Randy Rhoads' work until like the 2000s or so. And then he left the band too. I'm pretty sure, I know he was at the concert, but I'm pretty sure the last bunch of tours, Zakk Wylde was not on them.
Correct.
And because like right now he's on tour with Pantera. He's doing Dimebag's guitar parts. He's the fill-in for Dimebag Darrell, which is it Pantera? No.
No.
Not without Dimebag. Fuck no.
Not without Dimebag or Vince.
Facts.
Yeah, it's kind of like
It's a Pantera cover band.
a Pantera cover band with the actual singer, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, pretty much.
I thought about it, but tickets were $150 for shitty seats, so I'm not gonna go. It sucks though because they're playing with Amon Amarth, who's like one of my favorite bands and never comes to America.
Right.
Well, that's okay. I saw Head PE. We might be going to another concert next month, Sam. We're probably gonna go see Prof in Boston.
Ooh, nice.
Complete opposite end of the spectrum from the metal show I just went to, a full-on hip-hop show. People are confused by me sometimes, Sam.
I can understand that. I'm your co-host, and sometimes I'm even.
And how I confuse people is when I'm literally pulling up Gregorian chant just to chill out.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
That shit is pretty cool.
But there's two reasons I do it. One, because I genuinely enjoy it and it helps me chill out. And two, to somebody that I know is a total pop music lover that doesn't know real music. So I'll put it on around them again just to fuck with them.
So I got a Quest 3 today.
Awesome.
I got it. Well, I ordered it last week, but it came in today. I've been using the Quest 2 for a while. And what happened is Maxine played a little bit and now she's hooked. So I got the new one and I'm giving her my 2.
Nice.
And this is fucking dope. I've been playing the game that she got addicted to actually. It's called Synth Riders. And it's a music game where it's kind of like Beat Saber. Everybody's seen Beat Saber where you got the 2 lightsabers and you cut the right color.
Yeah.
But instead of it being lightsabers, your hands are 2 balls and you ride rails. It's hard to describe.
That's cool.
But you end up doing more of like the actual dance in some cases than you would any other way. And so I've been playing a lot of that. I've been trying to master the dark arts of disco.
How good are you? Have you mastered the dark arts yet?
I'm getting there, Sam. I always fail at the end of Funky Town.
Are you staying alive, Max?
I am happy to report I have the #1 score on Staying Alive as well as the #2 score on Dancing Machine.
Nice.
By the Jacksons.
Well, you are a dancing machine, Max. I knew that.
But my biggest accomplishment isn't in the disco genre. I am the only person in the world, and that means I'm the #1 score, who has beaten the song Sea Walk by Corrupt. So, officially, Sam, I'm the best Crip Walker you've ever seen.
I feel like I need a round of applause for that. But
I feel like that
man be out here trying to hold me down and shit because I could sea walk. I see how it is.
I ain't trying to hold you down.
Nah, the man. You're not the man.
Well, the man's trying to hold us all down.
That's right. Well, especially if you can see walk.
The crip walk Sam and I do is totally different, though.
That's right. You guys would probably be better crip walkers than I ever could.
Well, we do the cripple crawl, and it's not as mine at least isn't as scary as Ricky Berwick's.
It's funny though because like you guys could play this game because you could totally play it sitting down. You know, it's mostly your arm type stuff, but
yeah.
I just get there's walls that you got to dodge and you could just do it with your head. You know? But I don't. It's great though cuz the walls in some of the songs like in Staying Alive, I'm not even joking. There's walls coming at you, right? And like you're riding the rails and so the rail goes up like that and then down and so you end up doing this. But you end up doing it full body because you're just like you got to duck and then come up. Duck and then it makes you do the dance.
Right.
Which is man, I have lost a good amount of weight playing that fucking game. But now that I got the 3, there's this new game I want to try that's a boxing simulation game. It's called Boxing Underdogs.
Oh yeah, I've actually heard of. I've seen trailers for that one.
Yeah, I want to see how. I can't fight. They won't let me fight. Nobody will give me an insurance. I've tried. I've gone to a couple gyms, Sam. My doctor says I can fight, but the insurance waivers don't. So the best I could do is take up VR boxing.
I might do that myself if I ever get a headset.
Yeah, I mean, I've really enjoyed. I also there's a game called Ragnarok where you're playing drums on a Viking boat.
Oh yeah,
that sounds fucking fun as hell.
Yeah, it's basically Rock Band drums, but you're on a Viking boat. It's exactly the same. There's 4 drums. They're color coded. It's just like Rock Band.
I might have to break up my headset then, Sam.
Yeah, and of course it allows custom songs. So I think it's called RagnarokCustoms.com. Has like any song you could ever want. And I played a lot of that because I didn't have enough space. It's a game you can sit down and play. But Synth Riders, I mean, you can play it sitting down, but I find it to be much more fun standing. Anyway, I enjoy this fucking thing. That's why I got the new one. This is like not the 3S, but the 3. The 3S is actually worse. It's newer, it's cheaper, but it's not as good. So I got the 3.
Yeah.
And we will be streaming VR content more, like now that we realize how easy it is to do.
Yeah. I did see like gameplay for the Batman Arkham.
Yeah, that came with it. I haven't played it yet. I got it at 8 p.m. and we started the show at 10 something, so I didn't have a lot of time.
Yeah, I would be hyped too, actually.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna play the shit out of this when we're off air, but
so
you know, we had a show to do. We had a lot we could talk about.
Well, we actually have covered a fair bit of ground, actually. Mainly bitching over boomers not understanding technology.
The internet.
Yeah, if you're a boomer and you can't grab one of these and set it up yourself to play within like an hour, you shouldn't be writing legislation about technology. That's how easy it is to set up, 1.
Yeah.
And 2, I just don't think boomers should be writing these laws at all. You know, with the exceptions of some of the boomers. Because the thing is, and we've gotten into this with some of the boomers, we've famously Secret Agent Man was like, boomers built computers. Yes, some of them did. Some of them know technology quite well. If you take my stuff as generalizing as all boomers and you're like, but my one boomer isn't like that, I question if you're intelligent.
The problem with
But we know Secret Agent Man isn't intelligent.
True.
the problem with his argument when he says, "But boomers built computers," those boomers he's referring to are dead.
Yeah, and most of them were actually greatest generation.
Well, that's the other thing.
Or
too.
Gen X, actually. Nobody contributed less to computers as a generation than the boomers, actually.
That is true.
Yeah. They will tell you the opposite, but it's really easy. Like, ask somebody who is a tech boomer, like John Carmack. In fact, John Carmack's probably the king tech boomer. He'll tell you the same thing. Boomers didn't do shit.
My mom sold computers, but that's not the same thing.
Well, sure, yeah.
And
they loved the commercialization of computers, so that was probably a great job for her to have.
Oh yeah.
They just didn't know how they worked. They were like, "Oh, give me your black magic box, madam."
Yeah, I'm laughing.
They thought your mom was just a voodoo priestess. You know what I mean?
I'm laughing because I think someone might have actually said that to her before she retired.
Oh yeah.
Someone complained. Someone came into the Apple store once complaining to her that they couldn't find their car with their iPhone. But the thing is, it wasn't a smart car that could even do that. It was just like a 2000
Motherfucker's got like a Nokia brick phone. He's like, I can't find my car with it.
Exactly.
My favorite is they'll like give you a piece of technology and tell you to make it do a thing.
Oh yeah.
A thing that it can't even do. Sometimes.
Facts.
Yeah.
They'll like hand you something and they'll be like, make this keep track of all my pictures from the last 35 years. And you're just like, this is a pager from the 80s. What am I supposed to do with this? It doesn't even have service anymore because nobody has pager service anywhere.
Yeah, at this point, you just throw it at somebody's head.
The boomers are like, I don't care how you get it to work. You work your millennial magic on it, and you just make it do the thing I want. Yeah, but they want to write the laws.
Yeah, my favorite thing is my favorite thing is like when a boomer hands you their phone and it's like, I can't remember my username and password. You go and fix it. And I'm like, no, you need to learn this.
Or can you reset the time on my VCR, please?
Hey, have you ever heard of a password manager? No. I don't want it to keep track of that. I want you to do it. It's like password managers are built into every browser now. Think about that.
Yeah.
They can't even get their password straight with things that were meant to fix that exact problem. Every boomer, too. Everybody. That's, there's not alls.
Even
Every
the good
fucking
boomers.
boomer forgets their password.
Yeah, even the good boomers.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry, if you're listening to the show right now and you're a boomer, ask yourself this. What is your password? If you don't know, shut up.
Mom, if you're watching this by chance, what is a Netflix password?
Asking for a friend.
No, I'm asking because I know that's the one that she that she doesn't know. Thing of it is, I don't know that one either. But she's the one who has it, so I can't enter it into my password.
My favorite. This is a back scene special. Her mom will forget the passwords, tell her to set the new password, and then she made a booklet. She's like, "Ma, you need like to write these down so you stop forgetting them." She writes them down, changes them after.
Yes, my grandparents did that with my uncle, and it was hilarious. Well, it was hilarious for me as like as an observer.
I found it very funny as well. My wife, not so much.
Yeah.
Oh man. And then of course, this is a good number of boomers, I'm going to say. Maybe not even a majority, but a plurality certainly. If you get scammed online, I don't want to hear you talk about what tech laws should be.
Facts.
That's probably what's happened. That's probably what's happened with a lot of these, boomers. I love the fact too that like they're all excluded from the ID because you know that Bill Clinton has probably been on Pornhub for years searching.
He was probably one of the first 100 subscribers.
Yeah. Well, knowing Bill, he was probably searching for cigar and
pussy, please.
Yeah. Oh, Hillary, that was me. That was someone else. I was searching that.
Hashtag pussy smoke.
It's right between his search for AIDS medication and how to kidnap children.
How do I get rid of a certain painting of me in a blue dress?
Yeah.
How do we pretend the Podesta emails didn't happen? Motherfucker's all about Epstein files. Bro, wasn't the like everybody dropped that Podesta shit real quick. I think the Podesta shit was even more sus than Epstein.
Hillary's, yeah. I'm still more upset about Benghazi than I am about the Epstein, if you want to know the truth.
Yeah. Like, okay, they're going to release
if any of us
release the frazzle drip.
If any of us handled emails like fucking Hillary did, we'd be fucking thrown under the goddamn jail.
Yeah. How they were trying to they were trying to throw Trump in jail for less than oh, speaking of, thank you. That's actually one thing I forgot about like last week. Max had comments on the Obama thing, which
we got another thing to thank him for being so retarded that he left evidence of a crime behind and didn't pardon himself. Thanks, Obama.
Well, there's a reason why Dr. Craig calls him Obozo. I guess he's living up to his name in that respect.
It wouldn't even be this way if they hadn't gone at him in every way possible last year. If they had not gone at Trump, trying to get him arrested, trying to get him in jail, shooting at him, all that shit, I really don't think he would have dug as deep into the Obama shit.
Yeah. No,
I'm glad he did.
No, and what's even funnier to me is all these corporate media people who were salivating over the idea of Trump being the first president to go to jail, they're now panicking over the prospect of Obama being the first. one to,
Well, if the first black president is the first president to go to jail, I'm going to tell you this. The black community will see a message in that. I'm going to tell you, they will definitely see that as a message and not a good one.
Oh, for sure.
But if he's going to jail, he's going to jail. It don't matter.
Here's always my question with Obama, though. And I know that this is probably my most controversial take on Obama. But how black is he really?
A lot of my black friends would tell you that they think Trump is blacker than him.
Exactly.
Because at least Trump has a mugshot.
Yeah.
Well,
and his swag and like his not give a fuck, say what he's thinking kind of attitude. Yeah.
Now
they look at Obama more like a really cleaned up character.
Yeah, well, even my black friends who are engineers, none of them ever went into like any of the Ivy Leagues.
Well, my black friends they didn't go to any Ivy Leagues. They went to the School of Hard Knocks, my friend.
Right, but no, that's what I'm saying is like there seems to be like this idea that either all black men went to the School of Hard Knocks or that they all are like that they got uber lucky and all ended up like going to like like a big sports school or one of the Ivy Leagues.
Yeah, the black middle class doesn't exist kind of thing. I've definitely heard a lot of that where it's absolutely not true. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like no, one of the guys that I play video games with is black, and he's like an IT.
Well, the thing is the black middle class exists but doesn't consider itself as such.
Right.
They consider them usually black middle class will consider themselves middle class first.
Right. Yeah.
And that's a disconnect with a lot of the rest of the black community that just kind of is able to just kind of look past them. Or to paint them in as they're the privileged rich people. Like
right. And
so it's unfortunate, yeah. Like a lot of my friends would consider the kind of guys that are engineers or whatever as like not their people.
Right, which is unfortunate because my friend is definitely not like privileged. Like he's not ghetto, but he didn't grow up in a great like home environment either. Like he's
it's always more complex than you'd like
to
fucking think. But yeah, I mean, Obama doesn't represent most black people's experience as far as I can tell. And you can hear that in a lot of them too, where they were big on it when he won, and they were big on it maybe the second time he won, but by now they're like, yeah, that's old. Like who cares?
Yeah.
Because what did he do for me? And the answer in a lot of the cases I'm talking about, that's why they're my friends, is they're like, nothing. He didn't do shit for me. Now, did he do stuff that people in the black community would appreciate? I'm sure, but the people that I know don't think he did anything for them.
Right.
And in fact, a lot of them were able to get jobs, better jobs, or jobs for, in some cases, the first time in their adult life, because Trump came in and deported people and there was factory openings again. Because, they were literally competing with illegals for those jobs. And guess what? You're a black American. Well, I have to pay you $15 an hour. I could pay this Mexican guy way less than that. Guess who wins?
Cheaper labor.
Yeah. Yeah, it holds down the black community a lot more than people think. And that's why there's a larger...
single time.
There's a larger percentage that voted for Trump the second time and the third time than the first time. And it's because they were able to get more jobs when he was president.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much it amounts to. I think it's about 5 to 10% of the total black population, but that's a big shift.
Yeah. Also, you know what I don't see a lot of I don't see a lot of black people talking, like even among like Trump supporters, is Epstein.
Really?
I don't really maybe I'm seeing different influencers than you are, but I'm not seeing like
They are not. Nah, they're all up in arms about that one.
Really.
Look, look, I love my homies, okay, but black guys are more likely to be conspiratorial off the bat, I find, than me. I'm not saying than all people, I'm just than me, okay? And this was a great conspiracy for them because it has all the elements they like. Rich white people behaving badly, stepping on people beneath them. There's a power broker elite, right? Like, they love that shit. So yeah, like, again, my friends are not middle class blacks. They're either rich or poor.
Yeah.
And they love the Epstein stuff. At least they don't love it, but they want the release. They're real big on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But they are more understanding, I find, of my position than I found a lot of white people to be. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
Because my position is I'm sick of hearing about that shit. And they're like, yeah, I can see that. I don't want to hear about no dead pedophile all the time either. So they get it, but they're like, but we need to see what's in them files. And I'm just like, okay, I guess. But that's when my thing is like, but can we get the Malcolm X files? And they're like, yeah, we need the Malcolm X files too.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is like even I'm more interested in the Malcolm X files.
Well, because it's a simple thing. If the government killed Malcolm X, it changes the entire narrative of the civil rights movement.
Facts.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they killed Martin Luther King Jr., but there's not enough evidence to make that conclusion in those files. But there might be enough evidence to make the conclusion with the Malcolm X assassination, because there's already almost enough evidence without them. Did James Earl Ray shoot Martin Luther King Jr.? There's definitely questions about it. Who shot Malcolm X? 2 unidentified teenage gangbangers.
Yeah.
Unidentified. The man's been dead for over 40 years and they're unidentified. That is sus as fuck. I want the truth. I want to know what happened to Malcolm. And my black brothers stand with me on that one.
The only time somebody's unidentified for that long is if the fucking government wants them to stay unidentified. Because the government doesn't want to fucking know. And they don't want you to know.
We know that their names are in the files.
Well, right. That's probably the same thing with Jimmy Hoffa too. Like,
the government knows, but the problem is they don't want you to know.
Right.
Yep.
I'm not even saying that like Jimmy Hoffa was, a good guy or anything like that, but the government probably does know where he's buried. They're just not telling us.
Yeah, I mean,
he's in a pillar of a building somewhere.
I'm a lot less sure of that one than I am that they know exactly who killed Malcolm X and why. That's the key. They know why. I know they know why. We would like I would like an explanation. And I know why. Because
What?
he was doing the opposite of saying, please beg the government to come save the black man. Let's because he hated Martin Luther King. I don't know if you knew that. And he's like, stop begging that white man to solve your problems. Let's stand up and solve some of our own problems. And every black man in the last 50 years that has come out publicly and said something like that in America has been ruined by the government.
Yeah. Well,
From Malcolm X to Tupac, you on and on the list goes. Anytime it's the black community and black men and women need to improve ourselves is the message. Those people are the ones they go after.
which I'll tell you what. Like I've heard whisperings that MLK was possibly a communist sympathizer.
Possibly. You think possibly. He wasn't a communist sympathizer, Sam. I want you to be real clear about this. We have the files now. Go look into him yourself. He was a card-carrying member of the party.
Okay, yeah. So I know I'm gonna have to use the term allegedly. Then
Right.
Okay. So yeah, MLK was a commie, which feels good to be able to say that now.
Some might argue socialist. I would argue that's the same thing.
Yeah.
But he was a member of the U.S. Communist Party in at one point.
Malcolm X certainly wasn't though. At least
he was more. I'm not gonna say he was pro-capitalism. He wasn't, but he was. The argument could be made that his vision might have been a fascistic one. But fascism is such a vague term. He was certainly looking for like a unified black ethno-state type mentality. And it's real simple. He wanted to separate from America and white people because, well, I mean, there's only two conclusions you can come to, right? After slavery and everything and Jim Crow. It's either we can live together or we can't. Well, Malcolm X took the stance that maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't because I can't trust you.
Right.
I don't see a problem with that. But, it's funny because like I get people confuse me for like a black nationalist or something, and it's like, well, no, I just have a lot of sympathies in the black community. I grew up alongside them. I'm from the hood. I know what black guys say. You know what I mean? I know like where the chatter's at, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I end up having a lot of sympathies with black nationalists of different types. I've famously of friends with Chief Zachari of the Black Hebrew Israelite. Well, friends is he does believe that God's gonna make me and you and all white people his slave, but we were friends besides that, That's fine.
Yeah.
I accept that. His worldview says that God's going to make us all slaves. I just disagree. But man, was he fun to talk to.
Yeah.
And yeah, you could totally be friends with a black nationalist who says they hate white people. That happens. I have quite a few. Turns out they don't hate all white people. They hate most of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that on the flip side, I've known of white nationalists who say they don't hate all black people.
Oh, you mean like Nick Fuentes?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. See, here's the difference, though. It's like the Black Hebrew Israelites will be like, okay, you can come hang out, white boy, but we're going to tell you, you're not one of us. You don't belong here. Yada, yada, yada. You'll be our friend. Yeah. Fuentes is the opposite. It's like, oh no, you're a part of the group now. We're the white nationalists, and it's literally not one of them's white. I mean, he's fucking Mexican. His top lieutenant's a black guy. Yeah, they're not good white nationalists at all.
No, they're horrendous at the thing that they purport to be.
If I have to pick, I'm joining my boys on the black nationalist side, brother, because like they might win. Like they probably would win if that's the fight. If it's the white, like everybody else is excluded, right? For this hypothetical, it's only white nationalists and black nationalists. I'm picking the black nationalists. They're gonna win.
That would be hilarious if because I'm just picturing like an army of black nationalists, and then there's you, the tall white guy.
There'll be a couple. There'll be a couple big old white boys with them. You can almost bet on it.
Yeah, and the white nationalists are like, wait, what's he doing over there?
It's like, well, I'm going to be on the side with at least one other white guy. Turns out that's not the white guy side.
Yeah.
It's the black guy side. There's just not one white guy on their side. I don't know. And you might say that Beardson guy, but I mean, is he a guy? Is he... It's more like an autistic man-child.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, so I'm sorry that we're going to be on other opposite ends of the race war, Sam, but it is what it is.
I mean, I might. Who knows? Who knows? They might accept me in your side, because I don't see the white nationalists pitching into build wheelchair ramps.
Well, and you know, I'll teach you. You know, we'll get you reading Malcolm X. We'll get you looking into some Marcus Garvey, and we'll get you straightened out. You know, so you can be just a little less of a cracker. I think we could blacken Sam a little bit. I think it could happen. First lesson is you got to listen to the entire discography of Eazy-E.
No, that's easy enough. Pun intended.
Boo.
Also for those asking, I'm not going to cover the Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ad because I don't care. However,
bullshit. You looked all up at that ad. You looked at it in great detail, and I know it.
Not enough to do an entire podcast on like some people have.
I think you could. It's just that you would be talking about her tits and ass for 2 hours, and rather than whatever everybody's mad about.
What I will say is, fuck Melanie Mac for being a giant goddamn hypocrite.
Well, yeah, that's not surprising though.
Well, no, but it had to be said because she's done what she's accusing of Sydney Sweeney of doing with the ad, and for fucking G Fuel.
And she does the overtly white supremacist shit in some of it too.
Facts.
Yeah, Melanie Mac has actually said some shit like that before. See, Sydney Sweeney, it's literally, as far as I can tell, it's
just a jeans campaign.
Yeah,
it's just a pun.
Sydney. First of all, Sydney Sweeney is like fully clothed in this ad, and
far more clothes than some of those Melanie Mac shots.
Specifically, the G Fuel ad.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, what? She had some cleavage out and she grabs her butt.
So by Melanie Mack's definition, Sydney Sweeney's a prostitute. Melanie Mack's more of a prostitute for G Fuel.
True.
Well, I mean, yeah.
It's a good thing Maxine wasn't here for this one because she'd have some thoughts about the Melanie Mack stuff.
She'd have some thoughts about the thoughts.
I'm not to hear them, honestly.
Because she really, as far as I can't tell you what she thinks about the jeans ad. That it was funny.
Yes.
Because that's how it's
about
meant.
it. And she was like, wait a minute, they're saying it's racist? And I was like, yeah. She's like, how? I was like, I don't know.
Because
it was played for laughs. That's what it was meant to be.
Because Sydney Sweeney is a pretty white girl and we have to overthink everything.
Well, the kind of people upset about it already didn't like her, and their only reason for not liking her was because she's blonde and blue-eyed.
Yes.
And then they say, look at this blonde, blue-eyed bitch. And it's like, well, you already didn't like her, see? We already know that. By the way you start out with talking about her blonde, blue eyes, one, you jelly. Super jelly.
Yeah,
two,
yeah.
I mean, we know because you start with pointing out her physical features that you already didn't like her.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's women be jelly.
That's right. So. They get jelly as fuck. And I wouldn't I'm not gonna sit here and say she's unattractive, but I don't even see the appeal. But hey, it works. I wouldn't say, oh my God, look at this woman. I need to look at her all the time or nothing like that. But she's an attractive girl, but Jesus Christ, people y'all are simps. No offense. But but I mean, it's an attractive girl, and you know that an attractive girl is gonna have haters just because they're attractive.
Yeah, I also think I also think it has a lot to do with the fact that we've been for the past decade they've pushed woke corpo slop for so long that anything is
Did you see their gene campaign from 1 year ago, American Eagle?
It was probably woke.
Okay, so the ad a year ago was a big fat black lesbian.
Of course.
I did see that, and I mentally blocked it out.
So basically, they got the message, and they adjusted. And as far as I can tell, their gene sales are through the fucking roof from this, so it worked.
Yep. And so is their stocks.
Yeah.
And apparently Doja Cat is pissed of all insane people, so that's very funny.
Yeah, I did see that reaction. That was funny.
Oh, what's funny about that is she was ostensibly somewhat on the right. She used to do 4chan. Now she's dating that fag from Stranger Things that the ladies on Sandwich Makers live to talk about.
Yep.
And because she's dating him, she's becoming a lefty loser.
Great.
That's what that was about. Is she's being leftified by her little boyfriend from the Stranger Things show.
Of course.
Yeah. So fuck Joe Quinn. When she watches this back, she's not gonna like that, but I don't care. She knows how I feel about that little bitch.
Weren't the ladies on the Sandwich Makers afraid that Doja Cat would have the exact opposite?
Well, not Maxine, but yes,
right.
Yes. That was their dispute, actually. So, yeah, Penn should be actually glad it's the opposite. Yeah, she's been affected by his politics rather than the other way around. which is a shame in my opinion, because I liked her being a crazy, sometimes saying edgy stuff thing, but if she's gonna go full lefty, she's just another one.
Facts.
Oh well. There's plenty of crazy people out there for me to be enjoying their content, so.
Yep.
And I'm not one of them because I'm not crazy enough.
Right.
However,
And of course, I don't enjoy your content at all. That's why I'm not a part of it.
well, I just meant that I'm not.
we don't show the books at all.
By Sense of the Assassin.
Oh my god. We legitimately have been on for almost 3 hours and not mentioned that you write books. We should all be fired, Sam. You too. Just all of us. Terrible. We're the worst promo guys of all time.
Well, did it fall off my... Yep.
This is how they can tell that we're total shills.
It fell off.
Because we forget to shill everything.
It fell off my... It fell off my desk. Hold on a sec.
Ooh.
Nice.
We lost the cripple.
No, I'm still here. I just don't want my my green screen to you know,
You know
flip
what's
out.
cool about this thing is I can still totally see my monitor now.
Nice.
Yeah, this one has full color cameras and shit. And so I can just bring up another the cool thing is you can bring up windows like on a computer, but you just put them anywhere. And actually you can use your hands too. I'm gonna just snatch this and bring it over here. I like this thing. That's right. Now I'm hosting the Whitfield Report within VR.
That's a troublemaker.
I don't know. I could totally send the video to my computer, but that would take too long. Sam, did you find your fucking book that you're supposed to be selling? I guess not. Well, I'm here.
I am also here.
And I'm also in VR. And oh shit. I turned it. I can't see no more.
Hashtag virtual giant.
No, I put the pass through on and then I turned it off. Now I can see. Yeah, it's cool too because you can just use your hands. You don't want to use the controls. So I can just take these windows. You know what's cool? Is that right now, what I'm doing here, Rumble. I'm gonna be watching the stream in virtual reality while I'm on the stream.
Nice. Inception Max.
Okay. Let's find it, baby. What the fuck is the channel name? The Whitfield Report. Live, right? Yeah, there it is. Right there. Whoa. I am looking at myself.
How do we lose?
No, I'm not, because there's an ad. These snot-nosed kids. No, I'm not, because there's an ad. Oh, now it's loud. Whoa. This is trippy, being in VR, watching myself stream the show. Is Sam back yet? I am desperately filling for time. What happened?
So I was just looking something up real quick, and apparently the Final Fantasy set for Magic the Gathering is the best selling of all time in a single fucking day.
Gross.
Yep. I hate it.
Magic the Gathering is so fucking dead.
Yep. Well, it's been dead for like 5 years now, but that's beside the point. But now it's even more dead.
It died for me in 8th grade, so.
It died for me finally, completely, during the Magic 30 set. I was kind of holding out hope until then, but they completely fucked the Magic 30 set, so I will never touch another project ever again. I still have the majority of a lot of my cards.
The hand controls were so much better than they were on the 2. If you see me acting goofy, I'm literally just dragging a window around, and I'm going to put it right there, bring a window up over here, so I can watch myself right here.
Are you not always goofy?
I got my monitor for the actual monitor I could see in front of me, and then I got the Rumble stream up on here. Bro, I think I could join from within the headset a stream. We're gonna have to try that sometime, because
that'd be funny.
Yeah, I think Rumble has like a VR app or something. But
no, it's because I have a mic and a camera built in, and it will recognize it. I'll just join the Rumble Studio through the headset.
Oh, fun!
Right, so that I could. Because I was saying, Sam. You see what I'm doing right here? Is I'm just dragging a window. It's like a window, a computer monitor window. I can bring up like as many as I want. I can make it bigger.
I kind of figured that's what you were doing instead of just from here.
I'm looking at you and me in VR right now. I have us up on the screen.
Awesome.
It's kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie.
Speaking of things that
I want to see your book in VR, Sam.
Speaking of, Cynthia the Assassin, week 2, came out last week. Pretty good. And Max is trying to get his hand on the book right now.
That's right.
But Max, you can get your hand on the actual book by going to Amazon.com and purchasing a paperback copy, guaranteed to make you more manly, even more so than you already are.
The hand tracking actually tracks me making a middle finger. This is a fucking technological miracle. Sorry, Sam.
Well, if you didn't want to buy the book, you just had to say.
You didn't have to be rude about it, Max.
Oh, I was just trying to, because it shows the outline of your hand for the hand tracking. And I was like, there's no way this works. It works perfect. I'll have to take a screenshot so you see what I mean.
Yeah. No, I
wasn't flipping off you. I was flipping off those assholes that haven't considered picking up a Sam Whitfield book yet. Is that better?
Sure.
Yeah. Yes, I just had to make the joke.
Oh my god! Now we're above my head.
This looks really funny. Just from the Well, they people are not wrong when they say that VR looks weird from the outside.
It really does.
Side.
Well, especially when it's like it's literally just take it, and now I've stretched our monitor out, and now we're a big screen.
I can imagine like you're seeing
Your head, Sam, is 70 feet tall right now. I just want you to know.
Based. Yeah, VR is like pretty cool from the. I did try one of those at Best Buy. Pretty nice.
Yeah, you know,
not as heavy as I thought it would be either.
This one's a lot lighter than the 2. The 2 was a little heavy.
Yeah.
But the big thing is the strap that they put by default kind of sucks. And then they have an elite strap that's expensive. But there's third-party straps that are better. I'm going to pick up one of them. And the reason what it is they put the weight on the top of your head instead of the back, and that makes all the difference.
Yeah.
When it's pulling from back here, it feels like it's coming down on the front. But if you get one where it's like seated on top of your head, the weight is more even.
Right.
That is one of the biggest problems, though, is they are a little bulky and heavy.
But yeah, since it has to do, maybe Max can read this in virtual reality.
That might make me sick. A whole novel?
Well, yeah.
I'll read that on the toilet like a normal person.
Well, that's exactly what you should. Well, you'd read Sins of the Assassin everywhere, in the bathroom and in the.
Oh no, I only read Whitfield novels. They're all next to my toilet.
Well, that's the classic.
That's where I get my business done.
Yeah.
The funny part is you can ask Maxine and she'll tell you, yes, your books are next to my toilet.
But folks, it's not because they're shitty at all.
No.
Quite the opposite. It's because that's where he has time to read.
That's right. That's sitting in my business chair. I got some time.
So,
dropping off the old kids at the pool,
And for the audience who are saying, "Oh my God, he's such a dad," yes, he literally is.
Yeah. Here's a fun VR story for you, Sam. I'm sitting here, I'm playing that music game I was talking about, dancing along. My son walks down. I didn't even know he was here. He walks around me. He sits down. He watches me for a couple songs. And then just out of nowhere, he says, "Dad, you're corny," and then leaves.
I mean, is the kid wrong?
Yes.
He says this, he laughs.
No, see, I'm cool. He was just confused. It's a C word. There's an O.
None of us are cool, Max.
Well, speak for yourself.
Yeah.
I just beat up an entire mosh pit 2 weeks ago. I feel pretty cool. Morpheus.
Speak for yourself, sir.
And Sam.
Wait, you didn't beat me up. You said you beat up an entire mosh pit. I was gonna say you didn't beat me up at all.
Well, you weren't in the pit.
No.
Acting like a bitch. Get the fuck in the pit.
No, that was my cousin Dave.
Actually, though, Sam in the pit would make it not as fun because nobody would be trying to tip his wheelchair over or nothing, and we'd all be like behaved. So
Facts.
and
Oh,
you couldn't do crawling in the pit because you'd get stepped on.
Oh yeah.
However, I think you would make an excellent crowd surfer.
Oh, for sure, definitely.
Crowd surfing in the wheelchair is fun.
Yeah. You just gotta accept people are gonna touch your dick.
He might like that.
Well, that's
Well, they might not be women.
That doesn't mean anything. He might like it.
well, I wouldn't say I'd like it, but I would be like, yeah. It's probably less invasive than the TSA.
You wouldn't like it, but you wouldn't necessarily hate it either.
I kid in that way, but man, every single girl that crowd surfs, and look, I've been at a lot of shows, I've worked a lot of shows, I'm telling you from experience, every single one gets at the very least molested.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you're a woman and you want to go crowd surfing, you're gonna have to come to grips with the fact that people are gonna grab you inappropriately and probably stick a finger where it doesn't belong.
Unfortunately, facts.
So I highly recommend, ladies, that you don't unless you're into that, I guess. I don't know.
Again, still probably less invasive than the TSA.
Well, I've had to tell women this, and then they go and do it. Like, it's like, hey, if you go up, because they ask a big guy to throw them up, right? And I'm like, look, if you go up, people are going to sexually abuse you. Are you okay with that? And they're all like, ha, nah. And then they come back crying.
Right. They're shocked.
Yeah. Because they think, oh, some guy might like, rub up against my breast. No, they're going to like, they do shit.
They're going to full on take advantage.
Yeah.
The worst thing somebody could do when you're above them, grabbing you with their hand, they're going to do it.
Yeah. Not
especially if you're an attractive girl.
Facts.
And is that fair? No, it's not fair that attractive girls can't crowd surf, but it's just reality. They can, but they're gonna get groped, and no one will. There won't be anybody. You won't be able to point to a guy and say he did it. That's the problem. Is like
they all did it.
They will just get away with it. Even if it's only one guy out of the whole crowd. That's why I highly recommend women stay away from the crowd surf. Because a lot of times women will be like, well, I don't want to get in the pit, but crowd surfing seems fun. And it's like, crowd surfing's worse for you. In the pit, you might get knocked down, and then some big guy's going to feel like an asshole as he picks you up. Crowd surfing, you're going to get molested.
Yeah, not everyone.
I got away with crowd surfing because I'm a dude in a wheelchair.
I crowd surfed one time and they dropped me.
That's because you're a giant.
I know. Was that the Gathering of the Juggalos 2002? And they just... No, they held me up for a while, and then they kind of pushed me towards where there was a big empty patch.
Oh, jeez.
And just dropped me. Right on my back of my head.
Well, to be fair, they picked you up and they probably all felt their backs like.
Hey, I really didn't have a choice in the matter because I had come off the stage.
Ooh, yeah, that's.
I wasn't really trying to crowd surf. It's just. You ever been on stage at a crazy ass concert?
I've been to crazy ass concerts, but not on stage. No.
I don't know. There's just something about the idea of like, oh, I could do it. I could just jump. And then you do it. And it was cool up until they dropped me. And no, they didn't drop me because I was too heavy. They just kind of pushed me towards an area where no one was going to hold me.
Man, I really have not utilized my cripple privilege to the whole...
No, you haven't, Sammy.
Seriously, you've not been on stage at any of these concerts you've been to? How? We used to bring crippled guys back. There's a guy out in the crowd in a wheelchair. Yo, come here.
Do I need to give you a crash course there, Sammy?
Serious.
Probably. Although I did talk to, yeah, I can say on air. So
Seriously, we would see a guy like you, and we would be like, should he be out in the? You're going to concerts with assigned seating, aren't you? That's why.
yeah,
Okay, never mind.
Boo.
That I thought you were going to like a real concert.
as in like
No, like general admission.
oh yeah. Well-
Assigned seating to me is not a concert.
Well, no, I've been to general admission concerts with my friends too, but yeah, we've just never for like local bands.
I and every security guy I know would be like, yo, see the guy in the wheelchair? Get him back here. Do you know how good PR that? Like, there's benefit to us doing that. It's not just to be nice to you.
Facts.
It helps. It's a win-win because we'll be nice to you. And you'll get to meet the band and all that shit. But it's not just purely because we're such nice guys. It's one, if you get hurt out there, we're in a lot of trouble. Because you might sue. Two, you're not going to sue if you're friendly with the whole band.
Well, I
Three, you're not going to have any reason to sue if you're backstage because we're keeping you safe from the crowd.
Because you're talking to the band after the fact and a hottie.
And then the capper on it all is they take a picture with you and they look good.
And sometimes you get merch.
Yeah, free merch. Oh yeah, dude. A young crippled guy at a concert, we're literally going to pull him back. Oh, for sure.
I can.
How nobody did that for you blows my mind, Sam.
I don't say this a lot, but with the amount of signed stuff I've got, simply because I'm a crippled guy that goes to concerts.
The crippled guy who goes to concerts, particularly like rock concerts, like that guy is looked at like a legend. Yeah.
Again, I'm gonna have to learn you something, Sammy.
Well, I'll have to come visit. I'll have to come visit you. So
we're gonna have to find a fucking concert that's somewhere in the middle of me and you, Mort, and hit it up one time.
Facts.
Something like Springfield, Mass, or something like that.
Something like that. Probably something like on the border or something.
Well, because Connecticut's way far south of you,
right.
So the only shows are probably like Western Mass and like New York City, but I don't think either one of us wants to go there.
Yeah, no.
No, especially not with. I don't want to go there now with Madami or whatever the hell is.
Not for. Well, I wouldn't want to go there anytime for a concert, and I think Mort knows why.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just.
The last time I was in New York City for anything like a gathering, not even necessarily a concert, was a fucking 2003 or 2004 Magic tournament.
I have never been outside of a car in New York City. I have no intention to ever.
I can't say I blame you.
Yeah, Dude, like if I'm going to a big city that I like, I'm going to Boston or Providence or fucking Bangor, Maine. Just the city is gross, man. I don't like it. I don't want to go anywhere near. I don't even like to go to Connecticut because it feels like part of New York City.
That is, yeah. I haven't been to Connecticut in a long time, but you're not wrong.
Also, I would have the problem in New York City of they would know I'm a masshole immediately.
Yeah.
And so nobody can bring up sports.
which is gay, but
Well,
it
no,
is
it's
what
not
it
gay.
is.
Is we'll fight. Like you don't know much about New York, Boston.
No. I know that it'll break out into a fight, which to me is
Which
gay
is
because
fucking, yeah, it's good. We should. It's healthy. I mean,
fair.
how could you legitimately be a fan of the Yankees? Like, the Yankees. It's in the name, man.
Well, that's always how. That's what I always ask the Raiders fans. So I get it. Anywho, though,
Mass in New York City, we just generally butt heads. It's not even the sports so much. It's a different worldview.
yeah,
Because I actually don't care so much about the sports. I just do it to piss off New Yorkers because they seem to get very upset by it. Like, I haven't watched a sports ball game in years of any kind. I don't watch baseball. I don't watch football. I don't watch basketball. I'll occasionally catch a hockey game. That's about it. Boxing, I watch lots of that, but that's not like regional team, right? That's
no.
individuals. Same with UFC. So I don't get into the sports tribalism, but I do it because it makes New Yorkers very upset.
Because you're a troll.
Yes. Well, and that is very much being a Massachusetts
We,
guy.
we already knew that, though.
I don't know if you saw when we showed the clips of Power Man 5000, but if you didn't know, Spider One, the singer, Rob Zombie's brother, and Rob Zombie grew up in Haverhill, which is Mass, and so he
right?
said one of the clips we have it. I'll find the video if you want to see it. If you didn't see it, he says, people don't understand. Massachusetts. What's the motto? And like he was setting up his punchline, but he was in Massachusetts, so everybody there just said "fuck you," because welcome to Massachusetts. Go fuck yourself. That is our mentality. Welcome to Massachusetts. Fuck you. He's right.
That is,
And it's evidenced by the fact that there's like 10 people that yelled it before he even got to the punchline.
that is hilarious.
Sports? Well, it's sports as matters if it's fuck you. You like the Yankees? Oh, yeah, I love me some baseball. Who plays on the team now? I don't even know. I haven't watched the Red Sox play baseball in 20 years, Sam.
I don't know either.
I don't think I've watched a baseball game in 20 years. Unless you count Little League.
It's
I do.
been 5 years since I've watched baseball.
When's the last time Tom Brady won a Super Bowl in New England? That's the last time I watched football. In New England, not in Tampa. No, because why would I watch a team? Like, why would I watch that team? Just for Tom Brady?
Because Brady's your guy.
No. The Patriots are my guy.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're a true New Englander. I do know.
The Patriots were my guy before Tom Brady.
Right, exactly.
When they sucked.
Yeah, and I can appreciate you for that.
Also worked at the stadium for several years, and I live literally near Foxborough. That's why I went to that concert was at the stadium. It just was they built this like mall right next to Gillette Stadium, and that's where it was.
Yeah.
So it's a little like, I think I started working at the Patriot organization when I was like 15. So nice. I'm not just, it's not just that I'm from New England. I'm like, I'm an alumni of the organization's security force.
Yeah, did you ever get like free or discounted tickets for
I mean, I didn't need tickets because I was working the games. Why would like a ticket would give me a seat? I wasn't sitting watching a game, I was working.
right.
So I was at all those every home game for Tom Brady's first Super Bowl win, I was there. The Snow Bowl, all that shit.
Nice.
When Bledsoe went down, people were like, "Oh no, Drew Bledsoe, that's our main quarterback. Who's this Tom Brady guy?" But see, I watched college ball, so I knew Brady at Michigan was a fucking beast. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh no, we're screwed." And then he comes and he wins the whole Super Bowl. But I was there. I was there through all those games. You know, you can't watch every bit of it. Like I said, I'm not sitting down watching a game. I'm working, but you get to watch enough of it. So
Well,
if you're asking about free tickets, no. But I did get paid to be at those games.
well, shit, that's almost better then.
Sometimes I miss important things. But I did get to see that snow kick and the tuck rule and all
Yeah.
that shit. So
Well, no, my stepdad when he was when he was a kid and even into his teens, he delivered papers for the Denver Post. So he got like season tickets to the Broncos.
nice.
So that was cool.
Well, you know, the downside was obviously I didn't see any away games because
Right.
there. But I did see that whole season's home games. Like even before Bledsoe got hurt, you know, that's the thing is Bledsoe got us to the playoffs to begin with. People shit on him. It's like, but no, I'll tell you what. I haven't watched the NFL in years because during that Tom Brady Super Bowl I was talking about at the halftime show, who was the guy that started talking about gun control? He started lecturing about gun control at a halftime Super Bowl show, and I've never turned the NFL back on since. And by the way, that was before the kneeling for the anthem shit and everything. They started talking about gun control, and I was out.
Right, yeah. I don't remember who it was either, but I do remember that. I do remember that. So
The crazy part is that same game has another big moment for me, is because that game, the last Tom Brady Super Bowl in New England, was when my son took his first steps. That's how long ago it was.
that's a pretty like wholesome moment though.
Yeah. Well, and hey, he's met plenty of like Super Bowl ring winning fucking players and stuff. So that's cool. Look, one thing to say about the Patriots organization is that the players absolutely embed themselves within this community.
Yeah.
They teach Little League. They're all over the place. If you're a New England Patriot, you're going to be active in the community, and you have a set of standards to live up to as well, especially in the wake of what happened with Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
They don't let you have as much free time anymore because what did he do with his free time? He killed somebody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Patriots organization is known to be like really old school and kind of harsh. We like it that way.
Well, hey, you know, it gives guys something to do, you know, in the off.
Yeah, and so you go down and, you know, there's a guy coaching the little mini football league and all that. And they're like, hey, you know, they'll show my son has seen so many Super Bowl rings at this point.
Which, by the way, I mean, I think I personally think like Little League, like I'm all for it too.
Yeah.
Just because like I couldn't really participate, and like that is one thing I think people will kind of misunderstand is people think that I'm like people think that like because I'm pro Boy Scouts, like I'm anti Little League or something, and I don't know where people get the idea.
That's insane. I did both at the same time.
Right.
That's like normal to do both because like Boy Scouts, I mean, it's not even every week you'd be at a meeting. Baseball season's only a couple months. Like,
right.
Yeah, those two things don't conflict.
They don't really clash at all.
Yeah.
No.
I guess it's more of a sentimental thing. You got to pick your side. And it's like, well, what if I did both?
Right.
That's not possible, Max.
Although nowadays I'm not picking the Boy Scouts because they're not even the Boy Scouts. But that's we've been over that. All three of us being scouts had some fucking comments. If people want to know what we have to say about the modern scouts, there's a whole episode about it.
Oh yeah. My only point, and I think to be fair, I think this might be where people, are maybe confusing. My only point was that Boy Scouts gave me an opportunity that I wouldn't have had because there was any way I could like physically participate in like little league.
Right. The most you could do is play t-ball and take swings from your chair, and that doesn't sound very fun. In fact, it sounds like it makes you more of a spectacle.
And be patronized as fuck.
Yeah. Right. Whereas the Boy Scouts, you're gonna do shit you can actually do and not be like looked at like a fucking weirdo.
Yeah,
especially because the Scouts code, like, they have to treat you like everybody else.
Right, or get like sympathy,
Yeah.
Because again, going back to the whole patronizing thing, because that can.
Well, that's
the sympathy bat was always bullshit.
It's awful, right? Because like they think they're being nice by doing that. But what it is like you're just I'm trying to do an activity. Yeah. That's not like I'm looking for sympathy at all. It's the opposite. And then when people do that, I could see that being
I want to be one of the guys. That's what I want.
That's right.
Yeah.
See, I'd do something like I'd say, all right, you could be the bat manager or something. Like make you part of the fucking team, but not in a way that's humiliating or degrading.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, you're the the substitutions coach or whatever. Yeah, but Boy Scouts is definitely much more you could participate in. I mean, that's obvious.
Well, I mean, it was. Yeah. So.
Although I don't expect you to be playing any pee-wee football either, so.
No. Although that would be funny, me just like clotheslining people in my.
We're gonna make you an offensive lineman, so you just get rolled over on every play.
Yes.
Just make Sam the center. He's like, how do I even hike this shit?
Yes, more and I could destroy a few people that way, bro. Probably.
No, wait. I got the perfect position for you, Sam. You're the punter.
Ooh.
I actually think to some degree you could do a punt, though.
I mean, I can't necessarily like kick, but yeah, we could find out another way to do it.
Well, you could hit it with your knee. You could volleyball it up,
Yeah, that is true.
Hey, if we're talking pee-wee football, it's not exactly NFL rules here.
Right.
You in the NFL, well, that would be very funny, but you would die.
Yeah, me and the NFL would be funny for a whole host of reasons.
Until you get run over by 5 giant 400-pound men, and then it's not as funny. No, it would still be funny, but I would feel bad for laughing kind of funny.
No, you wouldn't.
I mean, he might for a little bit.
No,
it depends. I mean, look.
Depending on how many full cartwheels we did.
That's right. Depending on how far you get launched is how funny it'll be.
Yeah.
Or you just get... I can picture a scenario where you're just squished by two opposing teams as well. That might be funny.
Yeah, that would definitely
Yes,
happen.
pancake Sam.
Well,
Although I still think like the Evil Knievel Sam is like the best Sam spinoff, where we put him in a helmet and have him jump over crazy shit in a wheelchair.
well, I suddenly have the Evil Knievel. I suddenly have the mustache to do Evil Knievel stuff.
That's right. So all we need is to get you a chair with some like jet engines on it. You know, nitrous. Do you think it's possible that we could have a powered enough power chair that you could do a loop to loop?
We need that MythBusters hot scientist lady to make it up.
Yes, yeah.
Because a wheelchair loop to loop would be the baddest ass thing you could possibly do if you're in a wheelchair. I think.
We could get Steve to engineer something like that. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, we're gonna have to ask. Yeah, we're gonna have to ask our engineering team if it's possible to get Sam in a chair going fast enough that he can do a loop to loop without falling. You see, because there's a lot more weight at play with those chairs and the size of them as opposed to like a bike or something.
Right.
But I think it could be done. But I think you'd have to be going really fucking fast.
It could be done.
We'll get you. Oh my god, we'll get you one of those like Special Olympics wheelchairs.
Yeah.
One of the sports chairs.
Yeah, the sports ones. And then put an engine on it. And a parachute, because you're gonna need a parachute. Like that's
Well, yeah, that for sure.
Safety first, as we launch Sam off a loop-de-loop.
And then
they better never give us a budget, Sam, because you're in trouble.
Well, I mean, Mort's coming along for the loop-de-loop too.
Who do you think is the crash dummy to make sure it's safe for you?
Well, you.
Exactly.
I'm gonna build a loop-de-loop, and Mort's not gonna try it.
Like Mort's not gonna be the goddamn crash dummy.
Like he's not gonna immediately be like me first.
Fucking facts. Me first. I gotta make sure it's safe for Sam.
Hold on. I'm thinking now. Instead of just a loop-de-loop, what if we did a whole crippled American Gladiators type deal?
I'm good with it.
That would actually like
get famous
money.
Cripples to be the gladiators, like Ricky Berwick, and it's basically the same game, but like wheelchair friendly.
Oh, well, Ricky Berwick would just like spider monkey his ass all over the place.
Well, hey, the gladiators were the ones you would be afraid of on the show, so it makes sense that we would have to have a Ricky. What's another good, either crippled or otherwise disabled person to be a gladiator?
Well, if he were still alive, I would say. If he were still alive, I'd say like Kryptonoman.
Yeah.
Partially
he would have been one of the 4 horsemen of the crippled apocalypse for sure.
Well, partially because like,
facts.
And I don't mean this to be insulting, but like he was so crippled that no one, he would be like the guy, even the other cripples would be like, how does this guy do that?
He's the final boss cripple.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, I figure we could expand it to have some dwarves and some midgets, a fat guy. So disabled dwarf. American gladiators.
Fat dwarf.
Oh, and I could be the retard.
Yes.
This is working out swimming.
You're the retard referee.
Yeah, well, the referee's always retarded. And blind, so I can't be wearing glasses.
So, I mean, PPP could be the fat guy.
Well,
Well,
He is not a
actually,
midget.
he's got the fat down, but I'm not so sure he's a guy.
Facts. He's a
Yeah.
fat tranny.
Gotta lose a little weight so that I can tell, you know? Because his tits are huge. And as far as I understand it,
His
huge
tits are bigger
tits,
than DSPs.
huge tits equals woman, Sam.
Yes, partially.
Right. So he's got to lose some weight so I can tell if they're tits or moobs. Right now, it's just fluff. He looks like, what was that? The bitch there years ago, that the fucking Trigglypuff. He looks like Trigglypuff.
Oh my god, he does look like Trigglypuff.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is Trigglypuff presumably had woman boobs, but you couldn't tell because they were so fat. So I need to PPP. You got to lose at least 50 pounds before I can tell if you're a male or not. And even then, I mean, look at how soft he is. He probably might still be a bitch.
Oh, he's definitely still a bitch.
Man, I've been picking on PPP on this show for years, huh? And he's still fat as fuck.
You've actually picked on PPP more than you picked on Mersh.
Well, look,
At
Mersh
this
might
point.
be fat, but he's not PPP fat.
That is true. I will give Mersh that. So,
See, me, I just got like a dad physique. I'm not exactly skinny, but I mean, look, when you're 6'5" and you're 230 pounds, you're never going to be skinny.
you have lost a lot of weight, like even since I've known you, though.
Yeah, like 150.
Yeah.
Something like that. Hey, I got real big. This thing is there's some sort of a misconception about me, is that I made a lot of content at the point of my life where I was most sedentary. And so people have this assumption that I'm like a computer nerd that's always inside, but actually I'm very active, outdoorsy type person. That's why I'm not around on the fuck, like, motherfuckers are like, where are you ever on Discord? It's like, I'm out doing dad shit. I'm out exercising. I'm out. Most of the time, I'm not sitting at my computer. I did that for a couple of years. I got so fat that I was like disgusted by myself. And so I won't be doing that anymore. Even for playing video games, I made sure the video game I'm going to play the most is something that I'm going to be moving.
Which is pretty smart.
I play more VR games than I play fucking flat games by a long shot these days. I don't get as excited for them.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I like being active. I like, I run 12 miles every other day, give or take. Like, I'm just, people assumed I was some kind of like nerdy inside guy, and I'm not. Like, I hate that shit. I hate being inside all day. I hate being lazy. I hate not exercising. I grew up doing sports and martial arts and boxing and kickboxing, and then as an adult, I was always at concerts. I've always been running. Running's not actually new for me. I've just stepped it up the last couple of years.
Right, you're a nerd, but you're not the nerd stereotype.
Yeah. Well, and I only got to be as bad, like I say, because of fucking the pandemic. The pandemic fucked me because I couldn't get out and run.
Fucked everybody.
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic fucked everyone. So,
but hey, it took 2 years, but I'm back. I'm actually closer to my fighting weight than I've been since I was 21 years old right now.
Oh, wow.
It's too bad I can't get a waiver to go fucking spar in a boxing gym, because that's all I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that does suck.
My wife, when she saw I was talking about doing the boxing game in VR, and she's like, "Oh, well, you'd probably be really good at that." And I was like, "No, I'm better at the real thing. It's gonna be weird." And she's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "I can't. Nobody's hitting me. It doesn't feel like boxing if nobody's really hitting me."
Yeah.
And what people don't understand is, in boxing, you're not just you're not. When I say hitting, I don't mean my face. I mean my gloves. You're constantly getting punched in the arms. So, not being able to feel the punches, I just feel like I'm at a disadvantage in a VR game, but it's the best I'm going to do because nobody will let me spar in a real gym anymore. Too old, Sam.
Ageism.
I'd kick all them asses, though.
It's a darn shame. But anyway, it's been about it's been more than 3 hours, and I think I'm gonna call it a night. So,
Fun?
gentlemen, it's been an honor. Morpheus, sorry you were out for bits and bones. This past week. But what's on the docket?
Bits and bones this week. We're going to be talking more about the Trojan Horse video game laws. We're going to be talking about how the people that were gung ho about straight Gooner games being taken off Steam are now fucking pissed that LGBT Gooner games are taken off itch.io. And we'll be talking about that shenanigans.
That's right. So, if you're looking to see all the porn that's getting banned, tune in to Bits and Bones.
Yep, hashtag video game porn.
And then Sandwich Makers is turning into VR Makers from what it looks like.
She definitely wants to do some more VR gaming this week, and we might together, now that we have 2 headsets, we might rig it up so we can play some multiplayer games together.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to speak for her since she's not here, but yeah, Sandwich Makers will do something on Saturday. So
no, it's you were right. The big plan is to deal with VR. Yeah.
Cool.
Now we're going to stream some VR games. If you guys didn't catch the stream that we did before where she played a couple of games, it was really funny. This is really fucking funny.
Yeah.
She got the shit scared out of her and almost cried multiple times.
I did see parts of that.
Yeah. And we got more. I might even get her to play Half-Life Alyx. She has played the first bit of it and thinks she could be comfortable with it.
Nice.
However, I warned her because I have not finished that game because it's too intense for me. I don't like getting eaten by a barnacle, Sam.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that either.
Also, this shit looks so real, because Half-Life Alyx isn't just with this little headset here with its limited graphics, it's a computer game.
Right.
And so when I'm streaming it, the graphics are like fucking 4K and shit look real as hell. And it just gets too intense when there's zombies slow, face crab zombies are walking at you all slow and shit. And you think, oh, they're all slow and shit. This should be fine. Except that it's you actually have to use the gun properly, which is, people are so used to just going and clicking with their controller, but when you have to shoot stuff like this, it gets a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Yep, and I'm going to make her play some type of horror game at some point or another. So that'll be a lot of fun.
That'll be really fun to watch her.
Got a lot of crazy crap planned
I think there's the Resident Evil Village in VR.
Not a chance.
Damn, I tried. Is that a Max not a chance or a Maxine not a chance?
Well, it's because I don't own the VR of either.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go buy the game that I already own in VR.
Reasonable.
But for her, she won't even play those games in like Resident Evil 7 or The Village or 4. She won't even play those not in VR.
Okay.
Especially 7, and 7 scared the absolute shit out of her watching me play it.
Yeah, that's probably not gonna happen then.
Yeah, 7 was fun for me. That's why I suggested it.
I think Half-Life Alyx is probably the scariest thing I could get her to play, to be honest. It is pretty fucking intense. I think people don't think it is because they've never played a VR game like that before. But if you're in fucking Half-Life Alyx, watching it on a screen doesn't do justice to how fucking scary it gets.
And the other game that was absolutely fantastic in VR was the first Senua's Sacrifice.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's more of a psychological thing than horror, really.
Both, actually, all three of the mentioned games are shit for VR, and like the reason being, like Resident Evil 7, The Village, and that game all are not great for VR because they weren't designed for it. So, like, it's janky as shit. I know that Senua's Sacrifice is janky as shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's not meant to be a VR game. Like, and the version that you have to play to do it is modded.
That sucks.
Yeah. So, as much as I think it would be great if they really built it, obviously, Xbox doesn't give a fuck about VR at this point. Even though they made an Xbox-branded Quest headset, they don't seem to have any interest in VR. You know why they did that with the headset? The Xbox branded Quest is because so many people play Game Pass on a giant screen in their VR. I won't be doing that. If I want to play a fucking flat game, I'll play it on my nice computer monitor. Flat games are for flat screens. VR games, I like them to be actually VR. And that's what I'm going to be doing. So if you're going to go to sleep, Sam, just know I'm going to be mastering the dark art of disco.
Awesome. Yeah,
and I'm going to rock up to that disco one day, Sam. I'm going to steal the show. There are discos still, right?
Maybe there's a couple.
Maybe.
All right, cool. Then I'm going to master disco, and I'm going in, and it should be just like Saturday Night Fever, Sam.
Exactly.
All right.
Sure, Max.
Except
while you all are chasing broads, I studied the disco.
Mm-hmm. But see, you already have a broad, so you don't need, you don't need it for that.
Right. A lot of guys learn the dark art of disco to pick up broads. That is not my motivation. I am purely motivated by the knowledge, skill set, and ability.
Max wants to be the Lord of the Dance.
The Lord of the Disco? Not the Lord of the Dance.
Exactly.
I can't dance, but I sure as fuck can boogie. It's because I'm a gangster.
But disco is a form of dance.
He's right.
Also, I'll probably be doing some like actual VR boxing against other people, like players. I'll probably stream some of that, even if I lose. I don't care if I lose. Who cares?
No, you're not gonna flip out like some people either. I know you.
Well, I'm gonna be hard to beat because I'm so tall. It counts in that game, so.
Oh yeah.
Like weight class doesn't matter because they can't really measure that, but I am so much taller than most people, they won't be able to punch me in the head. Which was true when I was boxing for real, too. All I have to do is just lean back, and they can't get me. That's it. I keep my head back. My long arms do all the work. You got to get in real close to me to take a shot, and that's the worst thing to do is get in close to a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to hit you. So, VR boxing on the table, boxing underdogs. It came out yesterday, and I'm going to pick it up on Friday when I get paid. Like
Nice.
I mean, I just bought a $300 headset, so I got to wait a couple days to spend $20 on a fucking game. But it also, other things we might do in VR, Sam, the games that I have, it might be very fun for me and her to do Among Us VR for the memes.
Yeah.
I got mini golf, bowling, all that kind of shit. So all kinds of fun stuff planned. Not just for sandwich makers, but across the board. We put a lot of effort into stepping up our production, and that's barely started. So
Nice. Well, and then
also coloring with Maxine's not gonna stop. She's gonna continue to do those kind of streams as well.
Oh, right. I didn't think she would, but
Just figured I would mention just because sandwich makers each week is whatever she wants to do.
Yep.
Right. And so if people are expecting a certain kind of content from it,
Good luck with
well,
that.
we're starting season 3 of the Sandwich Makers officially this week, and we're gonna start it big, so that should be fun.
yeah.
And I am going to be doing more cringing over coffee streams on Kick.
Nice. I'm actually trying to figure out like authentication for my Kick
I'll say
channel.
this. I did one of my classic cringing over coffee streams on Kick. The turnout was huge. So
Nice.
I must do more. I'm gonna pick a selection of episodes and probably do like another 12-hour or 20 or stream. I still have a lot of episodes I haven't played or haven't been seen in years. So, and if anybody's wondering about, well, what about new cringing over coffee? Because honestly, Sam, I never thought this would be the case, but I'm to the point where people are actually asking me that now.
There's a lot of stuff to cringe over there, Max.
Well, here's the thing. I don't like to cringe over what everybody else is looking at, and if you watch Cringing Over Coffee, you know I have my own cast of characters.
Yep.
One of those characters has a big event coming up on August 5th. His name is Christopher Cantwell, and he's got a probable cause hearing. So,
Ooh, nice.
Cringing
not for
Over
him.
Cantwell 3 will be after that court date. So, August 6th, 7th, 8th, something like that. I gotta wait till I see how he gets affairs in court. I have nothing new except that he's got a new court date. But that's the plan. So the next Cringing Over Coffee, I do have to wait to watch events unfold because one of my lovely friends of the show is in jail. We're just trying to see. I say friend very loosely. Fuck him. I hate him.
Right.
One of the cringing subjects.
But he's charged with meth possession, allegedly. We haven't seen why. And I have reasons. I have a lot, actually. But I need to wait to do the show until after Cantwell goes through his probable cause hearing. So, look out for that in a couple weeks. But until then, the classic Cringing Over Coffee streams are going to probably be 2 or 3 of them. in the next couple weeks on Kick exclusively.
Nice. I am looking at getting my Kick channel probably set up. So.
And Bits and Bones is looking to dual stream, probably starting this week.
Yeah. I mean, I had been dual streaming up till this point, but like the classic cringe streams, I could just easily do just on Kick, and I'm going to.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty good platform, and I get a lot of chatters, which is not something we get a lot of here.
No. So. But anyway, well, thanks for tuning in, folks, whether you're tuning in live or in the, archive. We appreciate everyone for tuning in.
And, the future.
And we will see you next week. So.
Or 8 weeks ago if you're in the future.
Exactly. So take care, everyone. And we will see you in the future.
We're going to time travel now.
The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Thank you for watching the Whitfield Report live on the Right to Offend Media Network. Make sure to check out Sam's books on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. You can follow Sam on X at SamW_NGC and the Right to Offend Media Network at RTO Media. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. And until next time, God bless. God save this great nation. God, freedom, legacy, in that order.